collect your personal info, your browsing habits, where you live, and who you're related to, and then sell it to the highest bidder. Aura helps stop that. Aura automatically removes your personal info from data broker sites and keeps it off. It also monitors the dark web, protects your devices, alerts you to real-time threats, and more. Start your free trial at aura.com/listen. That's AURA.com/listen for your free trial.
WMAL traffic and weather. Jamie Whitten in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Alexandria commuters eastbound 7 King Street between North Beauregard Street and 395. Incident under investigation. Near Park Center Drive. Follow police direction there. Extra time needed to get through. Initially, everyone was detoured. Heading through West Falls Church, 50 Arlington Boulevard inside the Beltway. It's heavy near Graham Road, off and on to Annandale Road. We now have road crews set up in Forestville on the inner loop of the Beltway to come up to Route 4, Pennsylvania Avenue, and that takes away the two center lanes. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Mostly sunny today. We'll have a high of 84, clear skies overnight, and a low of 64. More sunshine for both Saturday and Sunday. 71 now at Reagan National. John Matthews, News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Plant.
Youth violence is on the rise, not just in D.C., but across the country. And if you think that these kids need to be coddled and they need to be hugged, they need to have consequences, they need to understand that enough is enough, that we're going to put them in jail or some kind of youth rehabilitation detention facility and not allow the D.C. Council, one of whom I just recently indicted, to take cover for these kids. It's time to end it.
Yes. That's the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Jeanine Pirro, also known as Judge Jeanine, or Judge Jeanine Pirro, because she's Judge Jeanine Pirro. You know her from television and things. Fighting crime in our nation's capital? The President of the United States has no business doing that. Come on. Leave it to the Democrats here in D.C. They ought to know they've raised half of these criminals. That's just the city council. They don't all know who their children are, but that's not important right now. 15 federal law enforcement agencies have been allowed to start enforcing the law in our nation's capital, and the Democrats are very angry about it because they prefer more crime over less crime. See, that's who they are. That's the kind of people they are. They like crime. President Trump, a young man working for Doge, was beaten half to death by a violent mob of Democrat criminals just the other day in Washington, D.C. President Trump said, we might have to take over the District of Columbia, take away their independent status. I think that's a good idea. I think even the federal government would do a better job of running this city than the people that we've elected to run this city. That might sound crazy if you live in a normal place, but I don't, live in a normal place. So yeah, that guy. The New York Times is very angry about it. Trump orders deployment of federal law enforcement in Washington, D.C. Well, it is the federal district. And we do have, 17 different agencies with the power of arrest in Washington, D.C., and we're only 66 square miles. I think that includes the water in the rivers as well. Isn't that amazing? And the Hill, Trump orders federal law enforcement to patrol D.C. And they're outraged. You don't want to fight crime. You don't want to arrest criminals. Democrats want to elect criminals. They want to have parties for criminals. They're going to have a backyard barbecue for criminals, and then everything will be stolen. Isn't it great? 15 federal law enforcement agencies, in addition to the already existing Metropolitan Police Department, MPD. A fine police department. It could use some leadership changes. I think that would be good. And the crime, honestly, the fact that the news media, meaning the Democrats, are very upset about it. Extraordinary stuff. Trump orders increased federal law enforcement in D.C. Yay, I'm in favor of that. I'm actually entirely in favor of that because I think crime is bad. See, right? Speaking of which, that mob racist attack in Cincinnati where the Democrats attacked the nice people. The Democrats were all black, and the nice people that they attacked violently, and that lady that got punched in the face by a Mike Tyson wannabe, she was on the television last night talking about her experience on the street in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I've got some of that for you because that's also about the Democrat Party. The president wants to talk about crime a little bit because the Democrats keep committing all kinds of crimes and beating up nice people in the street in Cincinnati, beating up nice people in the street in Washington, D.C., beating up nice people and robbing. And the Democrats, they like illegal aliens and don't like Americans. They're not on our side. But I've got a little bit of this and a little bit of that for you because Democrats keep shoveling it and I keep cleaning it up. And so, among the many stories we have today, and there are a great many, as always, extraordinary things going on in the world, and President Trump looking to secure peace in Europe, where there is now war in Europe because Joe Biden was president, and peace through strength, has the other side of that coin is war through weakness. And Joe Biden was the very model of weakness as president of the United States. War in the Middle East, war in Europe when Joe Biden's president, because the left is here. Joe Biden never made any sounds at all about peace talks. Do you remember that? Nothing at all. Years went by. War. The war machine, the military-industrial complex in the United States, they loved Joe Biden because he sat there and smirked and ate ice cream. What is it? Chocolate chip? Is that it? He's out there stumbling around, bumping into walls, getting ice cream again. And nobody will go with him because he's him. But that's it. And we've got a lot to talk about in the Trump White House. 200 days, President Trump in the White House. 200 days of winning. President Trump is keeping his promises. The White House put out a statement yesterday and ticked off a few, and really just a few of the things that he's accomplished in this very, very busy 200 days as president of the United States. Second time around, you're probably aware of that. Although there might be some Democrats listening, and you gotta keep your eyes peeled for them. Sounds painful, keeping your eyes peeled, I've got to say. But President Trump ticking off, they put out a statement and ticking off some of the things that they've accomplished. Honestly, and I do recall the news media cheering Joe Biden because he kept fueling and funding the war in Europe. Oh, good. More weapons for war in Europe. That ought to go on for another year. How many years will this go on for? And President Trump trying to drag Vlad the Impaler Putin, the communist killer, murderer, guy who poisons people with polonium-210. That's a radioactive isotope that put it in your soup and you die slowly and painfully. He's a bad guy because he's a commie. Right? He's Putin. He's Vlad the Impaler. And President Trump trying to get him to the table to negotiate an end to the hostilities against Ukraine. Joe Biden didn't do that. Joe Biden's Secretary of State didn't do that. Joe Biden's nobody. National Security Advisor. Nobody even talked about it. They're just like, hey, maybe we could get him F-16s. Maybe we could get him Patriot missiles. Maybe we could spread the war because the Democrats, they presided as president over the American Civil War during, the Confederacy. That was the Democrats. And World War I and World War II and the Korean War and the Vietnam War. Other than that, the Democrats have a pretty good record on war, don't they? Because they're not on our side. And they're not on the side of good things. Isn't it amazing? So President Trump hopes raised of freeze in Ukraine war as Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin set to meet. They're going to meet. And amazing stuff. At the same time, we got this one left-wing, dim-witted woman in Washington named Eleanor Holmes Norton. She's elected time after time after time. I think she's been our non-voting delegate to Congress for about 50 years now. And she's very upset because President Trump is talking about federalizing the city of Washington, D.C., And and it's amazing stuff. The Eleanor Holmes Norton, after Trump threatens to federalize D.C. police and call in D.C. National Guard. We'll see about all that. The stuff going on, lots and lots of stuff going on. Oh, we got an update on Jasmine Crockett. She's one of my favorite members of Congress. It turns out she is about the worst person on Capitol Hill to work for. She is arrogant and cruel and nasty, and she's not on anybody's side. She likes Cadillac limousines everywhere she goes. Not a regular sedan. She wants the big SUV, the Cadillac. And when her staffers show up, they are to stand outside of the Cadillac Escalade and hold the door open for her while she enters the extra-large black luxury vehicle. Because don't you know who she is? And ex-employees of hers, she has many ex-employees because she's so, we'll just say, difficult to work for, that they say that she's not so much a member of Congress as she is a social media influencer. And that's all she wants to be. Because I've been saying this for years now, it's all a terrible television show. The Democrats have turned our entire political system into a terrible television show. Your Democrat Party. And she's very, very upset about everything because she doesn't want to fight crime in Washington, D.C. Eleanor Holmes Norton, my non-voting delegate. I voted for Marion Barry when he was here repeatedly, but I've never voted for Eleanor Holmes Norton. Isn't she the only one on the ballot, Michael? I think she's always the only one on the ballot. I don't like that, but Eleanor Holmes Norton's statement after Trump threatens to federalize D.C. police, call in National Guard, and womp, womp, womp. He wants peace in Ukraine, and he wants peace on the streets of Washington, D.C. There are weekends where, there are more people shot and killed in Chicago than there are killed in the war in Ukraine. I mean, just in Chicago alone. If you add up the number of Democrat murders across the country, that's another thing altogether, isn't it? Yes, it is. Michael knows that. Great many Democrat calamities that they womp womp. I'm telling you. Oh, also, did you see the story out of Las Vegas? An AI, another CEO. You know how Democrats shoot and kill CEOs on the sidewalks of New York? They murder them with guns. They shoot them, and then they brag about it. And then the Democrats say, "Oh, he's cute. I like his abs. I want my daughter to date this murderer." And that's today's Democrat Party. Something terribly wrong with them. But Vegas Agrippa, AI CEO Blake Owens, said it by mail, mailed a bloody pig head, and as you might expect, with a threatening note. Why would you sever a pig's head and send it to somebody if you didn't include a threatening note? What kind of an idiot would you have to be? But have you seen this? The New York Post has the story, the Washington Post doesn't, but he's a real estate mogul of some kind in Las Vegas. And he received, and I'm talking about a pig. I'm talking like, a 400-pound pink pig out of a storybook. And they severed the head of the pig, which probably weighs like 60 pounds all by itself. And they sent it to the CEO. So it's Democrats, right? The CEO of an AI startup received a severed pig's head and a threatening note, naturally, when his tech firm threatened to upend the traditional brokerage business in Las Vegas real estate. Blake Owens, the founder of Agrippa, was branded a Clark Kent knockoff and said he received the disturbing package at his home because his company released an ominous video in June. The video was ominous, so somebody severed a pig's head. The 30-year-old Vegas resident revealed he discovered the bloodied carcass wrapped in packing paper and stuffed inside a cardboard box. That's, what was that movie? What was that called? Seven, that Brad Pitt with the severed head in the box out in the desert. What's in the box? And it was his girl, wasn't it? It was something like that. But 30-year-old guy is, and he's, hey, let's do business this way. And it's Vegas. I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's apparently some organized crime there. Are you aware of that? Have you heard that in Vegas? And somebody, this is definitely Democrats, no doubt about it. And it's the old Godfather thing, Waltz is listening. and he gets the horse's head in his bed at that nice mansion in Beverly Hills, right? It's a nice house. Somebody lives there now. And that's somebody's bedroom today. That's good. I have my friend Marty. He went to a party at that house, the house where got the horse's head in the bed. Waltz's house. Isn't that amazing? His beautiful horse. What was the horse called? Huh? And the Godfather got the severed head and put in the bed. I think the horse was called Khartoum. Khartoum. Is that correct? I think it's Khartoum. But that's just from memory. Is that true? It's Khartoum? That's fun. Memory test. Sounds great. But this guy, you got to see the picture of this giant, like 60-pound severed pink pig's head. He says, came home, was notified of this package, opened it up, and sure enough, it was a pig's head. At least it wasn't in your bed when you woke up in the morning. Clark Kent's knockoff, a simple Google search goes a long way these days, especially in Vegas. And amazing. Saw your Marcus video. What a joke. AI is not going to replace brokers. They got some pretty tough brokers, real estate brokers in Vegas, I guess, and stuff like this. We got an update for you on the communist that the Democrats voted for in New York City to become mayor of our most populous city, most important city in the world. And what do you hear this communist? He wants to wage war as mayor of New York. Jihad, really, it's not. He doesn't wage war. He wages jihad against the president of the United States because Orange Man bad. The Democrat Party continues with their wah, wah, wah. Here's the note. The threatening note to the Clark Kent knockoff, he calls him. Very angry note. Signed by M. M for mental, I think. Remarkable stuff. So I've got that for you. And, Cuomo and Mamdani, New York. We're going to have to sell New York, I think. Who'd want to buy it, honestly? We're at 888-630-9625.
There's only one Chris Plant. The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Alexandria, still of incident under investigation on Route 7 eastbound King Street between Beauregard Street and 395 right here.
Another sunny and pleasant day today with a high 84. Clear skies overnight, low 64.
You know a safe-ish home security solution when you see one. The stuff that kind of seems like it works, but doesn't. The key under your welcome mat, the security camera that isn't a real camera, the guard dog on duty sign when everyone knows the dog is Mr. Buttons. The thing is, safe-ish doesn't actually keep you and your home safe, but ADT can help with smart, easy-to-use security you can rely on. Don't settle for safe-ish. Get ADT.
Choosing a new pharmacy isn't easy, but if you need to do so, the employee owners of Kinney Drugs hope you'll choose us. We've been taking care of our local community since 1903 when Bert Kinney opened our first store in Gouverneur, New York. In fact, we're still headquartered there today. Because we're employee-owned, we don't answer to Wall Street. We answer to Main Street, the people we serve. And we've made it easy as 1, 2, 3 to transfer your prescriptions. Get started at KinneyDrugs.com or stop by today.
Everything from clothing to household items are getting more expensive each day. American Giant is about keeping things simple and close to home. They aren't affected by tariffs because their products never leave the U.S. Support American-made tariff-free clothing with American Giant with American Giant. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com. That's 20% off when you use code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com.
Lowe's knows when you're looking for reliability, the right brand makes all the difference. And now, Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retailer for the Whirlpool water treatment line, including their Wi-Fi softener, under-sink filtration system, and more. With Whirlpool's proven performance and our everyday low prices, better tasting, better quality water is within reach. Shop pro-trusted brands like Whirlpool and more, in-store or online. Lowe's, we help, you save.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
If you didn't think skipping breakfast was a big deal, you'd be right. Before. But now, Wendy's has Buck Biscuits. We're talking sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or even the Honey Buddy Chicken Biscuit for just $1 each. Seriously, you can get all 3 if you want. They're just $1, so you'll never skip breakfast again. If you're smart. Breakfast for $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in the combo. While supplies last.
It's the $100,000 Lucky Draw at Mohawk Casino. Are you ready to make a match and win big? From July 1st through August 23rd, earn your weekly quick pick number every Monday or Tuesday when you earn just 100 points. Then come back for Saturday night drawings July 12th, 26th, and August 9th and 23rd for your shot at up to $100,000 cash. Match all 6 numbers to win the grand prize or win slot play starting with just 1 match. It's the $100,000 Lucky Draw, only at Akwesasne Mohawk Casino Resort, your everyday escape.
Here's a brief message from industry. This ad is brought to you by GSK. We invite you to visit hcp-myelofibrosis-treatment.com to explore data and resources. That's hcp-myelofibrosis-treatment.com. Thanks for listening to the message from industry.
If you need to choose a new pharmacy, Kinney Drugs hopes you'll choose us. We're an employee-owned company that's been taking care of our community since 1903, and we've made it as easy as 1, 2, 3 to transfer your prescriptions. Get started at KinneyDrugs.com.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. You can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align. Because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish@wish.org.
Chris Plant here, inviting you to join us next July on our Mediterranean Listener Sea Cruise. Early booking sale pricing ends August 30th. Visit ChrisPlantCruise.com. Little rebel. As my friend Brian texted me, I see. The movie is called Seven. I know, I said it's called Seven. And he said, yes, the horse was Khartoum. I know, I said it's Khartoum. Come on. That might be the delay or something like that. Let's go to the telephones, Michael. We're at 888-630-9625. Let's go to Lee, who maybe not coincidentally is calling from Leesburg, Virginia. Lee, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, good morning, Chris. Thanks for having me on your show. Chris, I've been living in D.C. for a long time, decades. I first moved here in 1988, and coming into Union Station, the first thing I was confronted with was a tourist who was stabbed in the stomach and who was laying next to a bench and being attended to by the, EMS. D.C. has never been a safe city. It hasn't been safe since the early 1960s. And after the riots, it's never been safe. And people like Eleanor Holmes' nutcase are part of the reason why this city is not a safe city. This city belongs to this country. It just doesn't belong to the people of D.C. This belongs to this country. And this government needs to get into Washington, D.C., rip this government from their grimy, corrupt hands and put it back in the hands of the people of this country. That city could be a model city for the rest of this country if Donald Trump and a Republican Congress would just go in there, rip this thing from their hands and put it back in some reasonable hands and get this crime out of the city. I don't even like to go into the city anymore because the crime is just, you can't even tell sometimes where it's going to come from. Before and other times, DC, the way DC is, for anyone who doesn't know, it's either better or worse than it was before in terms of crime. It's either getting better or it's getting worse than it was, but it's never safe. And you never know sometimes where something's going to creep up. So it's high time. It's way, 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 way overdue to get these people out of this, this mayor, this corrupt representative out of there and take over this city.
More on that coming up.
This is the Chris Plant Show.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. We're in great shape around the Beltway. No delays across the American Legion Bridge or through McLean. Delays at the Wilson Bridge. Those have already cleared out. And the road work in Forestville, Interloop at Route 4, that is wrapped up. Through Silver Spring, the outer loop just a bit below speed between University Boulevard and Georgia Avenue. Alexandria, incident still under investigation. On Route 7, King Street eastbound between Beauregard Street and 395 at Park Center Drive. Follow police direction. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Another sunny and pleasant day today with a high 84. Clear skies overnight, low 64.
Choosing a new pharmacy isn't easy, but if you need to do so, the employee owners of Kinney Drugs hope you'll choose us. We've been taking care of our local community since 1903, when Bert Kinney opened our first store in Gouverneur, New York. In fact, we're still headquartered there today. Because we're employee-owned, we don't answer to Wall Street. We answer to Main Street, the people we serve. And we've made it easy as 1, 2, 3 to transfer your prescriptions. Get started at KinneyDrugs.com or stop by today.
At the new Verizon store in Watertown, get the best of Verizon. Find all the latest deals on new devices, your favorites in music and streaming, and all the accessories you need. Switch today and pay $50 a month for a single line. That's right, just $50 a month when you bring in your phone on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. So come in now and let the savings begin. Stop by the new Verizon store at 129 Arsenal Yards Boulevard in Watertown today. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Lowe's knows when you're looking for reliability, the right brand makes all the difference. And now, Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retailer for the Whirlpool water treatment line, including their Wi-Fi softener, under-sink filtration system, and more. With Whirlpool's proven performance and our everyday low prices, better tasting, better quality water is within reach. Shop pro-trusted brands like Whirlpool and more, in-store or online. Lowe's, we help, you save.
Here's a brief message from industry. This ad is brought to you by GSK. We invite you to visit hcp-myelofibrosis-treatment.com to explore data and resources. That's hcp-myelofibrosis-treatment.com. Thanks for listening to the message from industry.
Life is more legal than you think, and LegalZoom is here to help. From setting up a will to secure your family's future, to taking the next step with your business and registering as an LLC, or sorting the permits to legally run it from home. Or maybe not. When you need a legal hand, turn to LegalZoom. Visit LegalZoom.com. LegalZoom provides access to independent attorneys and self-service tools. LegalZoom is not a law firm and does not provide legal advice. Visit LegalZoom.com.
What are the potential threats from artificial intelligence that could totally upend the way Americans live their lives? What will it do to the job market, data privacy, cybersecurity, the banking system, national security? Learn how you could help protect your life savings with a free gold and silver kit from the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco. You could get up to a 10% instant match in bonus silver if you qualify, but only while supplies last. Call 855-GOLD-IRA now. That's 855-GOLD-IRA.
If you didn't think skipping breakfast was a big deal, you'd be right. Before. But now, Wendy's has Buck Biscuits. We're talking sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or even the Honey Buddy chicken biscuit for just $1 each. Seriously, you can get all three if you want. They're just $1, so you'll never skip breakfast again. If you're smart. Breakfast for $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in the combo while supplies last.
The jackpots continue to soar. Go to any New York lottery retailer today for your chance to win the Powerball jackpot, over $100 million. Or play for your chance to win the Mega Millions jackpot, over $150 million. Please play responsibly.
At the new Verizon store in Watertown, get the best of Verizon. Find all the latest deals on new devices, your favorites in music and streaming, and all the accessories you need. Switch today and pay $50 a month for a single line. That's right, just $50 a month when you bring in your phone on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. So come in now and let the savings begin. Stop by the new Verizon store at 129 Arsenal Yards Boulevard in Watertown today. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
WMAL, making sense of the forecast. Because you never know what Mother Nature has in store. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Donald Trump, caped crusader, fighting crime in our nation's capital. Democrats are angry. They certainly don't want to start fighting crime, but it may be happening. And I was just thinking, I got my brother, one of my brothers in town visiting from Chicago and staying with us. And a friend, Brian, said, hey, maybe happy hour tonight, huh? And now I see there are 15 additional federal law enforcement agencies on the street, as they say in Washington, D.C., because of President Trump, because he's a crime fighter. And when you say you're a crime fighter, that means that the Democrats are crime, and you got to fight the Democrats because, you know, they are criminals and crime people. They're not good people at all. The Associated Press has the story. Trump orders increased federal law enforcement presence in Washington to, quote, make D.C. safe again, end quote. Well, why else would you do it? Stupid pants, honestly. The White House said Thursday night, that's last night, there will be increased presence of federal law enforcement in the nation's capital to combat crime for at least the next week. I'd like to see it go on forever, permanently, I think. Amid President Donald Trump's suggestion that his administration could fully take over running the city. Well, I don't know. We've got Trayon White. He's a city councilman, and he believes that the Rothschild family controls the weather. The Jews make it snow because that means they can take over the city. And Democrats, they're not very well. I mean, mentally, of course. And Caroline Leavitt, the wonderful White House press secretary, said Washington, D.C. is an amazing city, but it's been plagued by violent crime for far too long. I agree. I concur. And she went on to say, Caroline Leavitt said, President Trump has directed an increased presence of federal law enforcement to protect innocent citizens. You know, a Doge guy was beaten bloody by a mob of Democrat racist criminals just the other night. But it's okay, like in Cincinnati, when a gang of black people punch a woman's face in and make it look like Mike Tyson knocked her out on the street. And when 10 guys kick and stomp a white guy, you know, you got to have a white guy and then a white woman taking the beating. That's not a national news story. That's not like George Floyd or anything like that. That's not a big deal because it was a racist attack on white people by a violent mob of criminals who are black, and that makes it okay. And in Washington, D.C., the young guy with Doge who was beaten bloody, guess what? It has a similar pattern. I know, it's quite surprising. But Caroline Leavitt says increased presence of federal law enforcement. Now, Michael, now you can go down to 14th Street tonight. You can go to that place with the French name, and maybe nobody will be shot. Caroline Leavitt added that the increased presence of federal law enforcement means there will be no safe harbor for violent criminals in D.C. Well, that'd be a real change of pace, wouldn't it? That'd change everything. Trump has repeatedly suggested the rule of law could be returning to federal authorities. Doing so would require a repeal of the Home Rule Act of 1973 in Congress, Trump said lawyers are examining, but could face steep pushback. It should always be a federal district, and even the federal government couldn't do as bad a job of running the city as the elected Democrats here are doing, because they're terrible financially, and the schools and the crime. And you talk to the D.C. Metropolitan Police officers, which I do, and they're great. The police are great. The leadership not so great in the police department and the city in general. The White House said the increased federal law enforcement would make D.C. safe again and would be present on the streets starting at midnight. That's last night at midnight, led by U.S. Park Police, following an 11 p.m. Thursday roll call at an established command center. A great federal law enforcement agency, the U.S. Park Police, underestimated and undervalued, underappreciated, because Democrats, The push will last the next 7 days, with the option of extending as needed under the authority of Trump's previous executive order, established the Making D.C. Safe and Beautiful Task Force. Want to make D.C. safe and beautiful. It is a beautiful city, and I got to tell you, it has become more crime creepy, because you go to a great many neighborhoods. You got to constantly keep your eyes peeled. And the Democrats, they do things like they say, where are the nicest neighborhoods in D.C., the most crime-free neighborhoods? And they identify those neighborhoods. And they say, let's tear down a nice building and put in a homeless shelter there, because we want, homeless people, but baby mamas and babies. And then when their baby daddies get out of prison, they come to the neighborhood, and then they're standing around threateningly, menacingly, panhandling and demanding things, and going to grocery stores and stealing the place blind. So they have to close the grocery stores earlier. You have grocery stores that used to close at midnight in D.C. that now close at 9 p.m. because after 9 p.m., the Democrats start coming in and stealing stuff, and they load up the carts, and then they threaten to kill the security guards when they walk out stealing all this stuff. And they've made that normal. The Democrats have made that normal. And they have. They've done this across the country, too. You can steal up to $900 worth of stuff in California. So guess what people do? They bring their calculator, and they go to stores, and they steal $850 worth of stuff, and then they walk out with it. Then they go to another store a block away, and they load up $850 worth of stuff, and they steal it, because the Democrats have laid out the rules, and that's what they do. So next 7 days, and I think that's good stuff. Now, this really upset the people at Morning Joke, MSDNC, because they're mentally ill Democrats. They're very unwell. And we have, let me see, where do those begin again, Michael? 19? There they are. They're very upset. Now, again, a lot of crime. There are noteworthy crimes. If you get your news from MSNBC, you don't learn anything about any of this, because they protect the Democrat Party's criminal ways by not reporting the news. Know what I'm talking about? So here's Morning Joke this morning, very angry that President Trump is going to fight crime in Washington, D.C. They don't live in Washington, D.C. They live in Florida. They pretend to be in New York for the sake of television. And sometimes they pretend to be in Washington for the sake of television, with fake backdrops of locations where they are not, because they're generally in Florida. And here's Mo Yarborough this morning with his semi-inflatable flotation device of a third wife sitting next to him.
We don't want a federal takeover of the Capitol. Certainly don't need the National Guard in there, or certainly not Marines. But you look at Washington, D.C., and it's been dangerous for years. There have been a couple of years here, a couple of years there, where it's been a bit better. But it's certainly over the past 5 years, it has just been an absolute mess. Its quality of life has been terrible.
Now, over the last 5 years, so while Biden was president, D.C. has been a nightmare. The quality of life has been terrible. Crime has been terrible. But Joe Scarborough wants to make sure that no one does anything about it, because they protect crime, illegal aliens from the Sinaloa cartel and MS-13. They love crime. And if you say, well, we're going to do something about crime, then they immediately, the media, the Democrat media, they start attacking you, slandering you, and maligning you, which is what they do on any given day anyway. We can't have the National Guard. Joe Biden called out the National Guard to Washington, D.C., and they stayed for months in Washington, D.C., occupying our city, military vehicles on street corners. It's the third worlding of America because these commie morons are really banana republic lefties. They're not liberals at all. They John F. Kennedy were still alive. He wouldn't be for long, but these guys around. Pretty amazing stuff. And Joe Biden, January 6th. Now, the chief of the U.S. Capitol Police had asked for the National Guard to be activated, to be called up for the January 6th protest. And Nancy Pelosi shot that down, made sure that didn't happen. And then the Democrats called up the National Guard after the fact, and they occupied Washington, a military occupation of our nation's capital after the fact. And they didn't when the Democrats were rioting in the city and attacking the White House for 3 days, forcing the evacuation of the President of the United States and his family to the underground nuclear bunker, torching the Church of the President with an incendiary device. They love firebombing stuff. And that was a Christian church. Usually it's Jewish things, but no, that's not true because they attacked 500 Catholic churches in that time frame too. No National Guard then, but never mind that. And you remember the National Guard, some of the guardsmen, where were they from? Were sleeping in a parking garage, and they ordered pizza, and they got their pizza, and the Democrats at the pizza place had smashed up glass and sprinkled the broken glass in the pizza that they delivered because they're Democrats. Now, in 2021, January 14th of 2021, up to 21,000 National Guard troops. Up to 21,000 National Guard troops now authorized in D.C., right? National Guard mobilized for 30 days, including it's all about Biden, including Biden because the, 6,200 National Guard go to D.C. It's that's all fine. But if Trump should talk about that, then it's time to fire on Fort Sumter. Aren't they amazing? Don't want Marine, don't want National Guard. Okay. I got an idea. I've been saying this for years, too. Hey, Democrats, stop shooting people. How about that? Is that too much to ask? The answer is yes, it's too much to ask. Morning joke this morning. Talking about it for the last 5 years while Joe Biden was president. D.C.'s been terrible. It's been unlivable. That's what he says. He's an idiot. He lives in Florida. Joe Scarborough.
We've heard it from people that have gone there to visit, are horrified that the nation's capital is as dangerous as it is.
We've heard it from people.
25, 30 years of friends asking, really, this is how the nation's capital runs?
Well, yeah, it's run by Democrats, and you people are all mental, and all your kids are violent criminals, and you protect them. So here's it's been horrible. It's been terrible. It's like a third world hellhole. We've talked to people. Now, again, the backdrop on their TV show is Washington, and he sounds like he's never even visited. He was a member of Congress, a Republican member of Congress. He was a fraud then. He's a fraud now. Joe Scarborough.
Anything that the administration can do to forge a partnership with the city that I've got to say its leaders seem unwilling to do what is required to keep city streets safe. That's something that's encouraged. Again, they don't have to federalize it, but just help the city help themselves.
Help the city. How condescending you possibly be? So the great white master should come in and tell the all-black D.C. government virtually. I think there might be one Jewish guy on the D.C. City Council. But other than that, and they're all liberals, and they don't know how to run a city. They don't know how to run a budget. They don't know how to fight crime. They know how to make matters worse. And you hear Mo Yarborough here, Joe Scarborough, saying the most ridiculous thing. But don't federalize it. Don't do anything about it. Help them to help themselves. Mr. Condescending Racist, he really converted fully to the Democrat Party, didn't he? And for 20, 25 years, been so bad, people are shocked at how bad it is. But don't do anything about it, because that's the Democrat program. Let them die is their mantra. Morning joke.
If city council members continue to do things that undermine the security of the streets and of the communities and the places, not only where tourists go, where people have to go to work day in and day out, then yeah, we need the federal government be far more involved in the nation's capital. This is not Nebraska. This is the nation's capital. It should be safe for Americans and tourists from around the world to visit.
So help the poor people running D.C. to help themselves. Don't do anything yourself. Don't fix anything. This is what liberals conclude when it comes to absolutely everything. Don't fix anything. Just give it BS lip service and, blame Trump, Orange Man bad, and all kinds of stupidity, honestly. These people. Speaking of insane, dangerous Democrats, the New York City Democrat Party, the Democrats in New York, they had a primary election for the mayor of New York, and the Democrats, they elected, the communist, jihadi, anti-American, and off on the side there is lady killer Cuomo, mostly in nursing homes is where he killed ladies. But they went to the cameras yesterday, and you're not going to believe what these knuckleheads said.
Over the past 5 years, it has just been an absolute mess. Its quality of life has been terrible.
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Southbound 95, volume delays into Woodbridge. Slows and stretches between Dale City and Triangle. Northbound, any volume delay that we had has cleared out. Better in Alexandria on King Street. Eastbound delays have cleared out heading toward Park Center Drive and 395 from our earlier incident. Early commute over to the Bay Bridge. I have great news. We do have early volume delays on 50, but now that we have 3 lanes accessible across the bridge span, that volume should start to get a little bit better. Now from Garage Door Repair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Another sunny and pleasant day today with a high 84. Clear skies overnight, low 64.
The jackpots continue to soar. Go to any New York Lottery retailer today for your chance to win the Powerball jackpot, over $100 million. Or play for your chance to win the Mega Millions jackpot, over $150 million. Please play responsibly.
Class is now in session, and the UPS store is here to help you ace arriving on campus. Our certified packing experts can pack everything you need, from desktops to decor. Plus, when you pack and ship with us, you get our exclusive pack and ship guarantee. Your items arrive safe or your money back. Restrictions and limitations apply. To get a 20% off packing coupon and for full details, visit the upsstore.com/packing.
When your company earns unlimited 2% cash back on all purchases with Capital One, that's serious business. So Stephen at SandCloud got a serious business card, the Spark Cash Plus card from Capital One.
We use their 2% cash back to help build our retail presence.
Savage, Stephen.
And we get big purchasing power, so our business can spend more and earn more.
The Spark Cash Plus card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/SparkCashPlus.
My name is George Sotis. I'm the co-founder of Nutrafol. My hair started thinning in my early 20s. I tried everything and nothing was really working. So we created Nutrafol. Our hair growth supplements undergo clinical trials and have helped millions of men and women get visibly thicker and stronger hair in just 3 to 6 months.
Start your hair growth journey at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com.
Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional restrictions apply at LifeMD.com. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid T-cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer.
Confused on where to start with weight loss medication? See the lowest prices available with or without insurance for Wegovy, Zepbound, and more at TryLifeMD.com. 95% of LifeMD patients said starting their weight loss journey was simple. Listen to Tara's story after losing 42 pounds.
You just take your shot. It doesn't feel like you're on a diet. What I wasn't expecting it to do was to shut off the food noise. I've gone from 237 to 195. This was life altering, and if I can do it, I feel like anybody can do it.
Get your free insurance benefits check in minutes right now at trylifemd.com. Nearly 96% of patients said they would recommend the LifeMD program to anyone who wants to lose weight. Get started right now at trylifemd.com. That's TRYLIFEMD.com.
At the new Verizon store in Watertown, get the best of Verizon. Find all the latest deals on new devices, your favorites in music and streaming, and all the accessories you need. Switch today and pay $50 a month for a single line. That's right, just $50 a month when you bring in your phone on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. So come in now and let the savings begin. Stop by the new Verizon store at 129 Arsenal Yards Boulevard in Watertown today. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems, like snoring, aches and pains, hot sleep, or even an old saggy mattress that can keep you up at night. And our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now you can upgrade to a queen mattress and adjustable base for just $499.99. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
I've gathered you here today for a family strategy meet. Johnny, after dinner, you get 30 more minutes of counting practice on iExcel. Meanwhile, Timmy, you get to use iExcel for your long division. Let's do this. Try the learning product Family Stress at iExcel.com.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with all service members and their families. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
WMAL, making sense of the roads, because traffic doesn't always follow the pattern. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Yeah, I've got Zohran Mamdani coming up, and Andrew Cuomo coming up there. Both, for some reason, they want to be mayor of New York. One is power drunk. Cuomo wants to kill more old people in retirement homes, and of course, one is a jihadi who wants to destroy Western civilization. Zohran Mamdani, and wipe Israel off the map from the river to the sea and have a global intifada, which is to kill Jews everywhere you find them. And the Democrats in New York voted for him. Hey, vote for him. Let's take a phone call, Michael. Let's go to, let's go to Patrick, calling from the tiny state of Rhode Island. Patrick, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for taking my call.
Oh, sure.
Today is Frank Fugazi Day. It's August 8th. And we all know what that means. Heil Hitler.
Heil Hitler, that's right. August 8th means Heil Hitler because it's 8-8 on the calendar. And H is the 8th letter in the alphabet. Therefore, any reference to 8-8, August 8th, secretly means Heil Hitler, right? And that's what this guy, Frank Fugazi, he's a former FBI guy, right?
Yeah, he is. He's probably going to make a connection, another Nazi connection with that Sydney Sweeney ad because her initials are SS.
Oh, my God, that's a great point. I hadn't even thought about that. And of course, Hitler's SS, the feared SS gang in the Nazis, and her name is Sydney Sweeney. Coincidence? I don't think so.
No, I think not.
What do you think she's doing on 8-8?
Have a great week. Pardon?
What do you think Sydney Sweeney's doing on 8-8?
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe I should call her.
This is the kind of stuff. And this Frank, it's Figliuzzi, the Frank Figliuzzi guy, is being sued by the FBI director, Kash Patel, because Figliuzzi went on MSDNC and made up stories about the FBI director, Kash Patel, saying that he's not going to work. He's just out at nightclubs in Washington. And Kash Patel's having none of it. Frank Figliuzzi is being sued now by Kash Patel for fabricating a specific lie about him. And saying that Kash Patel's been visible at nightclubs far more Then he's been on the 7th floor of the Hoover building, at his office at the FBI headquarters in Washington. And he's Figliuzzi, he's a commentator in good standing on MSDNC because it's their job to lie to a shrinking audience every day. Unless they got Joe Scarborough, but he's out there with this. Oh, sure, it's been horrible for 25 years, but don't do anything about it. And when you hear these commies from New York City running for mayor, that's coming up. They're definitely not on our side. Not on our side. Patrick, thank you.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 10. Good morning, everyone. I'm John Matthews. A massive legal victory for neighbors who oppose the Prince William Digital Gateway Data Center project.
A judge ruled
the original rezoning decision by the Board of County Supervisors was void ab initio, meaning it never happened.
Because the board failed to advertise rezoning hearings for the massive data center project within the legally mandated timeframe. Oak Valley Homeowners Association President Matt Haddow says the controversial project
is dead unless the appeals court overturns the District Circuit Court decision.
The judge expects the county and developers to appeal. Unless they do and win, the county would need to start the approval process all over again. Heather Curtis on WMAL and WMAL.com.
A coalition of 15 federal law enforcement agencies fanned out across the city at midnight to patrol tourist areas and crime hotspots. We're hearing reaction from one crime-riddled southeast neighborhood.
I'm at Tell 7 News. He's had a front row seat to a lot of this summer's violence.
I would see a lot of violence, and since the summer is here, this is the time where a lot of people like to jump out there, and a lot of violence does happen.
Are they going to have arresting powers, or are they just going to detain the individuals until the police come? In what capacity are they going to serve?
Mixed reaction from the community, but they all agree on one thing. Something must be done to decrease crime.
7 News' Christian Flores, the initial federal crackdown scheduled to last for a week. Someone accused of a crime, Trayon White, returns to the D.C. Council today.
Later this morning, the election results for the Ward 8 special election will be certified, and then White will be sworn back in at 2 p.m. at the Rise Demonstration Center in Southeast. As you know, he was kicked out of the council earlier this year for his alleged involvement in a federal bribery investigation, but he defeated 3 challengers in a special election over the summer. White's federal trial will not start until January 2026. The council could choose to expel him again.
7 News' John Rogers. Right now, the future of wind energy in Maryland, anything but a breeze.
When we're talking about taking away one of the most important sources of clean energy, it's mind-boggling to me.
Amid increased energy needs across the state, Environment Secretary Serena McElwain is adapting on the fly. Per an executive order, offshore land to develop wind farms is no longer available, and projects already started have been slow to materialize. She tells Fox 45.
There's so much uncertainty going on. It's just hard to keep moving forward.
As Maryland experiences issues thanks to other legislation, Virginia's effort continues, and with government tax credits. Scotland on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Starting today, more than 300 players will spend the next week hunched over Scrabble boards at the Maryland Live Casino in the North American Scrabble Championship.
We're going to be in an enormous room. There will be people from 47 states and 7 countries, all competing based on their ratings.
Maryland State Senator Cheryl Kagan, who is a word nerd on top of being a policy geek, is among those competing. She says it's addictive.
We just do the best we can, play good words, and total up the scores.
No one's getting rich, though. The top prize, $10,000. Checking your money, the Dow is up 215 points. NASDAQ's up 135. Traffic and weather next.
Lowe's knows when you're looking for reliability, the right brand makes all the difference. And now, Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retailer for the Whirlpool water treatment line, including their Wi-Fi softener, under-sink filtration system, and more. With Whirlpool's proven performance and our everyday low prices, better tasting, better quality water is within reach. Shop pro-trusted brands like Whirlpool and more, in-store or online. Lowe's, we help, you save.
This is the story breaking right now.
Fox One is coming soon, which means soon you can be there live for all the biggest moments. and witness history as it's made.
It's not about me. It's about what this human spaceflight program is about. It's our national goals.
Get all of your favorite news, sports, and entertainment with a side of
I think I may have peed a little.
all in one app, streaming live on August the 21st. Fox 1.
Are your patients asking you questions, perhaps about managing their treatment, or maybe about making a change? Now is the time to talk to your patients. Now is the time to talk about Dovato. Dovato, a combination of dolutegravir and lamivudine, is a treatment option with 2 medicines in one pill.
This is the story breaking right now.
Fox 1 is coming soon, which means soon you can be there live for all the biggest moments. And witness history as it's made.
It's not about me. It's about what this human spaceflight program is about. It's our national goals.
Get all of your favorite news, sports, and entertainment with a side of
I think I may have peed a little.
all in one app, streaming live on August the 21st. Fox 1.
Steve Hirshhorn in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
195 southbound, you'll be pretty slow from Route 1 in Woodbridge down to 123. Get a brief break, you slow again from the Prince William Parkway down to 234 Dumfries. Continuing south on I-95 if you're heading as far down as Fredericksburg right now, you will be in a delay on 95 south, beginning right around the exit for Route 3 down to an accident at exit 126, Route 1 and 17 Spotsylvania. That was blocking the left lane. Around the Beltway, the inner loop is still pretty slow from Route 1 in College Park down to 450. Outer loop slows University Boulevard to Georgia Avenue. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Store March 7 forecast.
It does look like we'll keep this pattern going. A little bit of hazy sunshine mixed in with some scattered clouds, but pleasant low 80s. Very comfortable to be out and about. Overnight, we're in the 50s in the cooler suburbs, 60s downtown. We do it all again tomorrow. I'm 7 News Senior Meteorologist Brian Vandergraaf in the First Alert Weather Center.
73 in Washington, John Matthews, News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Plant.
Y'all better pay attention to this climate control, man. This climate manipulation. And DC keep talking about we're a resilient city. And that's a model based off the Rothschilds controlling the climate to create natural disasters they can pay for it and own the cities, man. Be careful.
Yes. Democrat City Councilman Trayon White of Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. He was expelled from the city council by the Democrats on the city council after he was arrested by the FBI. You know, taking bribes and corruption and piles of cash, tens of thousands, living in what did we figure out his apartment's like $8,000 a month, and beautiful luxury townhouse, or a penthouse with an amazing roof deck down by the baseball stadium. And the FBI went there and said, hey, look at all this stuff we have on you, and they arrested him. The Democrats in the D.C. City Council then expelled him from the City Council. There was a special election to fill his seat, and he won it. He won his seat back because the non-tax-paying but voting citizens of Washington, D.C., they voted him back into office. Amazing stuff. This happened several weeks ago. The headlines were Ward 8 residents react after D.C. council member Trayon White's re-election. The Associated Press, despite scandal and a looming corruption trial, Trayon White wins vote to return to the D.C. City Council. Isn't that great? It's kind of wonderful, isn't it? As Sir Trayon White wins vote to return to D.C. City Council, despite, and that's despite is in the headline. Amazing stuff. Despite being arrested by the FBI for corruption and taking cash and living the life. But that's D.C. This is why one of the reasons President Trump is talking about, then the crime and the mayhem, the anarchy, the pandemonium. President Trump talking about taking control of D.C. and announcing last night that as of midnight last night, an additional 15 federal law enforcement agencies will be on the streets of Washington, D.C. fighting crime. And the Democrats are very angry that anybody would fight crime. Now, I bring up Trayon White because Trayon White, though he won re-election in his special needs election 3 weeks ago, today at 2 o'clock, he's going to be sworn back in as a member of the city council. And what are the Democrats going to do now? Well, they've already done their phony baloney job, so they don't have to do anything else. He's back. And that's the whole thing, right?
I'm going to say this on the record. I work for the Lord. So any issues you want to take it up with my maker.
That seems fair. That's I'm accountable, but not to you. Just take it up with God. D.C.'s Ward 8 special election results have been certified. That just happened this morning. Trayon White will be sworn in Friday. That's today. See, that's 8-8. That's Heil Hitler. And that's why Trayon White is back, I think. The D.C. Board of Elections certified the results Friday, and the Ward 8 special election officially declaring Trayon White the winner. White received the highest number of votes with more than 8,000 ballots cast in his election. It was a special election. And the board unanimously certified his victory within minutes. White, who was removed from the D.C. City Council earlier this year amid allegations tied to a federal bribery investigation, FBI, defeated 3 challengers in the special election held this summer. Trayon White, now 41 years old, secured roughly 1,980 votes, or roughly 29% of the total votes in the So despite his electoral win, White's legal challenges continue. His federal trial is scheduled to begin January of 2026. But he can just be a corrupt government official between now and then. And the council retains the authority to expel him again, depending on the trial's outcome. They'll wait to say, hey, wait, what if I'm found not guilty? Maybe I didn't do anything. I wasn't even there. I'm innocent. Bring me a small liar. So News 7's Felicia Ashley asked Trayon White how he felt about Council Chairman Phil Mendelson still considering removing White from his seat again after his second re-election in less than a year. We want to build bridges. We don't want to fight, Trayon White said. We want to fight for the people. Boy, he's a Democrat, isn't he? You know, that's what's most important to me. Sure. White is scheduled for a swearing-in ceremony today at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. he'll be sworn in. This is our nation's capital. But this is what happens when you turn it over to the third world. And the Democrat Party is the third world. Make no mistake. Now, at the same time, they're kind of interesting. Michael found some fun audio today of Trayon White. Joe Biden called out the National Guard in Washington, D.C. because January 6th, ignoring 3 days of riots at the White House and 180 injured police officers at the White House riots by the Democrats, they came organized with pallets of bricks and crates of frozen water bottles to throw at the police, and M80s, an eighth of a stick of dynamite. Call it a firecracker, but it'll blow your hand off, throwing those at the police. And they set fire to the Church of the Presidents across from the White House. They forced the evacuation of the president and the first family by the Secret Service from the residence in the White House to the underground nuclear shelter. And no National Guard was called out. But January 6th, after it was over, and that wasn't 3 days long, it was more like 3 hours. And then the National Guard was called out. And I looked it up again today to refresh my memory. And I think it was January, that'd be March, 5 months we had the National Guard on the streets of Washington, D.C. because a U.S. Capitol police officer shot and killed Ashley Babbitt. And that was the apex of that entire thing. Now, the Democrats, they're out of their minds. They're completely crazy. And I found the article, CNBC, from May 24th of 2021. National Guard troops leave Capitol months after deadly January 6th insurrection. Now, the only thing deadly about it is that a racist Capitol cop shot and killed Ashley Babbitt without warning for allegedly trespassing. Death sentence issued now on the spot. And the Democrats applauded that. They gave the cop awards. Lieutenant Byrd, Officer Byrd, and they gave him awards. He was a hero. He was treated like a conquering hero by the Democrats. That's the only thing that made January 6th deadly. They're amazing. There was one man who died of a heart attack. One woman apparently died of a drug overdose, allegedly, or she was beaten to death by the police, one or the other. But that's it. And then you remember Joe Biden said that 6 cops died that day because he's mentally impaired and he lies all the time. But now the headlines today all over the place are, oh no, Trump's going to call out the National Guard in Washington, D.C. to fight crime. And he has already authorized 15 federal law enforcement agencies, ICE and ATF and FBI and lots of federal law enforcement agencies with a big presence in Washington, D.C., authorized 15 federal law enforcement agencies to take to the streets of Washington to fight crime. And the Democrats are angry about it. And it didn't start with the brutal beating by a violent mob of racists of a member of the DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, a young man who was brought in by Elon Musk to offer his his brains to help the United States government. And the Democrats vilified those people, didn't they? They demonized those people that volunteered their time to save the American taxpayers' money and try to streamline government and make government more efficient. And the Democrats, nearly self-immolated over that. But never mind that. So the DOGE guy, was injured and beaten. He tried to intervene in a carjacking attempt when a violent mob of Democrats were carjacking a woman. I read the story yesterday, that a carjacker in D.C. attacked a tow truck driver with a big rock in his hand. We're back to caveman days at this point. And carjacked the tow truck, threatening the guy with a huge rock in his hand to bash his skull in like that. And like, hey, it's a tow truck. Go ahead and take the tow truck. That's D.C. And Joe Scarborough says, oh, D.C.'s been hell for 20 or 25 years. Everybody knows it. And he said, but just don't do anything about it. You don't want to do anything about it. Isn't that amazing? And there's a young man was shot to death, an intern on Capitol Hill. And his mother, the mother of the murdered son, is calling for the National Guard to be called up in Washington, D.C. to fight crime and criminals. But the Democrat Party, they defend criminals because they prefer criminals. That's who they are, isn't it? Yes, it is. And I've got a Jeffrey Epstein update, too. A Jeffrey Epstein story breaking today. But let's get back to Trayon White for a second, because Trayon White, now the Democrats are really angry. Trump authorizing federal law enforcement in the federal district to enforce the law. That seems like it, but when you say it like that, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Federal law enforcement in America's federal district might be enforcing the law. And the Democrats don't want that. Why don't they want that? That's peculiar. And it has been mentioned out of the White House, apparently, the possibility of activating the National Guard, just like Joe Biden did for 5 months after his inauguration, Washington, D.C., with military vehicles all over the streets of D.C. It's all part of becoming a banana republic because the left is here. But we found this. Michael Piercy found this morning. Trayon White, and this is from 2023, from about 2 years ago. And Joe Biden was in the White House, and there was a lot of crime. And the D.C. councilman, before being arrested by the FBI and being expelled from the city council for corruption, this is what Trayon White does. They didn't just want the Rothschilds to stop controlling the weather so they can take over. He also wanted the National Guard on the streets of D.C.
I've spoken with the D.C. National Guard. No, that police alone is not getting it done. We are clearly in a war zone. If you don't know you are in a war zone, then you haven't been here. So we restore order in our community and love in our community. And the presence of God back in our community. We'll be here over and over and over again.
That's right, because we need the National Guard. That was Trey and Whitey's radical left-wing anti-Semite Democrat, as I guess all of them are today. And he was calling for the National Guard a year and a half, 2 years ago, to be called up because of the crime. But now if President Trump should mention anything like that, then it's bad, because Orange Man, bad. And that's it. Now, the Associated Press, Trump orders increased federal law enforcement presence in Washington to make D.C. safe again. And the Democrats and the media, but I repeat myself, are very angry about this because, you know, that like they defend MS-13 gang members and the wife-beating, human trafficking, smuggling MS-13 member that Democrat senators fly down to El Salvador to have margaritas with him in prison and to feel sad for him because he hadn't been able to beat his wife in a while. And the Democrats want to get him back to what he's good at. You know, these people are amazing. So, Caroline Leavitt yesterday saying, President is looking at battling the crime in our violent crime-plagued city, which has been taken for granted and ignored for too long. And 15 additional federal law enforcement agencies being called up to patrol the streets in Washington and fight crime where, and again, I think we have the nice lady, the mother, is that right, of the, oh, you don't have that? Okay, never mind, that's okay. No, but the murdered congressional staffer and then the Doge guy who was beaten by a violent mob of carjackers that were robbing a woman, he intervened to be a gentleman. And you notice the news media hasn't invited this guy in to pat him on the back and treat him as the hero that he is. Aren't they amazing? Just amazing. Womp, 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 womp. Were it not for double standards, liberals would have no standards at all. So anyway, Trayon White wants to call it the National Guard. Joe Biden did call it the National Guard for 5 months. President Trump says, maybe the National Guard, too much chaos in our nation's capital. The United States of America, the greatest country in the world. And the Democrats destroy everything they touch. Quite amazing. And I have New York City, their next mayor, Zohran Mamdani and Andrew Cuomo taking shots at each other. And you'll never guess who their common enemy is, their shared enemy. That's coming up. 888-630-9625.
There's only one Chris Plant. The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
This is the story breaking right now.
Fox 1 is coming soon, which means soon you can be there live for all the biggest moments. And witness history as it's made.
It's not about me. It's about what this human spaceflight program is about. It's our national goals.
Get all of your favorite news, sports, and entertainment with a side of
I think I may have peed a little.
all in one app, streaming live on August the 21st. Fox 1.
In the mood for a girls' night? Mohawk Casino Resort. But if you're feeling like a candlelit couples date, well, Mohawk Casino Resort. But when you just want the thrill of winning a chunk of change, you guessed it, the everyday escape, Akwesasne Mohawk Casino Resort, where you can join these winners. And just won $11,005. Guy won $13,953. Don won $14,227. Richard won $12,128. And Valerie won a whopping $26,488.
Ever get the feeling you're being watched online? It's data brokers. They collect your personal info, your browsing habits, where you live, and who you're related to, and then sell it to the highest bidder. Aura helps stop that. Aura automatically removes your personal info from data broker sites and keeps it off. It also monitors the dark web, protects your devices, alerts you to real-time threats, and more. Start your free trial at aura.com/listen. That's AURA.com/listen for your free trial.
At the new Verizon store in Watertown, get the best of Verizon. Find all the latest deals on new devices, your favorites in music and streaming, and all the accessories you need. Switch today and pay $50 a month for a single line. That's right, just $50 a month when you bring in your phone on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. So come in now and let the savings begin. Stop by the new Verizon store at 129 Arsenal Yards Boulevard in Watertown today. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Going to the gym can be discouraging, especially if you're putting in the work but barely seeing changes. But with Tonal, you can actually see your progress with every workout. Tonal provides the convenience of a full gym and the expertise of a personal trainer anytime at home with one sleek system. Designed to reduce your mental load, Tonal is the ultimate strength training system, helping you focus less on workout planning and more on getting results. No more second-guessing your technique. Tonal gives you real-time coaching cues to dial in your form and help you lift safely and effectively. After a quick assessment, Tonal sets the optimal weight for every move and adjusts in 1-pound increments as you get stronger, so you're always challenged. Tonal lets you choose from a variety of expert-led workouts, from strength to aero hit to yoga and mobility to keep you coming back for more. For a limited time, go to Tonal.com to get $500 off site-wide. That's Tonal.com for $500 off site-wide. Tonal.com.
Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're grinding out bicep curls or muscling the couch across the living room, crushing morning miles, or sprinting through back-to-back meetings, Smoothie King has fuel to help you maximize your workouts, own your recovery, and elevate your game. Give your body the energy, protein, and power it needs with a lineup of delicious smoothies made to help you conquer your goals. Only at Smoothie King.
It's the $100,000 Lucky Draw at Mohawk Casino. Are you ready to make a match and win big? From July 1st through August 23rd, earn your weekly quick pick number every Monday or Tuesday when you earn just 100 points. Then come back for Saturday night drawings July 12th, 26th, and August 9th and 23rd for your shot at up to $100,000 cash. Match all 6 numbers to win the grand prize or win slot play starting with just one match. It's the $100,000 Lucky Draw, only at Akwesasne Mohawk Casino Resort, your everyday escape.
Best Ball is back, and it's only at DraftKings. We're talking a $15 million guaranteed prize pool, with 2 millionaires being crowned for first and second place. Download the DraftKings app and use code BLOCK. That's code BLOCK for all customers who enter the NFL Best Ball $15 million millionaire contest to get a bonus ticket and get a shot at being crowned one of 2 millionaires. Only on DraftKings. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. 18 and over in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. 1 per new customer. Enter the Best Ball 15 million headliner contest by 9/4/25 to get 1 bonus entry. $20 entry fee required. Reward expires in 30 days. See terms at DraftKings.com/NFL-best-ball. WMAL's Vince Colonnese, weekdays at noon on 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
ABC News. I've got this ABC News story that I want to share with you. They're very upset that President Trump is talking about fighting crime in Washington, D.C. ABC fake news headline: murdered congressional intern's mom says Trump should take over Washington, D.C. And I'm going to get to this in a minute, but I was laughing at the first sentence in the ABC News story. As President Trump continues to rail against crime in the nation's capital, he continues to rail against crime in the I mean, when you say somebody's railing on about something, it's usually you're implying that he's being stupid, saying something stupid, and that you disagree with him. So he is railing against crime. He's supposed to be in favor of crime, like the Democrats are. Aren't they amazing? Let us grab a phone call, Michael. Let's go to Doug, calling from Clifton, Virginia. Douglas, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
I'm great, Doug. What do you say?
Well, listen, in recent years, in Democratic states, in Democratic cities, we've had to deal with the likes of Antifa, Black Lives Matter, Occupy, and we've had to deal with millions and millions of dollars of destruction, threats, and violence against civilians and police enforcement. I'm old enough to remember, and I'm from New York. I remember the riots in Crown Heights in 1991, where for 3 days, Democrat Mayor Dinkins allowed riots that destroyed property, and 2 people were killed. 29-year-old Yanko Rosenbaum and an Italian guy by the name of Anthony Graziosi, who was mistaken for a Jew. They were murdered, and that was allowed to go on for 3 days. What do you think is going to happen if Mamdani becomes mayor, who has the ability to allocate resources wherever he wants? They're already short thousands of police officers. Do you think that some small incitement like Al Sharpton did during the Crown Heights riots, what do you think is going to happen? They have already, pro-Palestinian groups have already protested outside the Lubavitch Rebbe's house in Crown Heights. I'm looking at an image where they were saying, let's flood the streets of Crown Heights and say the Zionists are not welcome. Do you think Mamdani is going to do anything? Now, Eric Adams, like Dinkins, I think maybe a nice guy. He's not anti-Jewish, but he's ineffective. He's weak and vulnerable to political pressure.
And I'm very happy that you got back to Al Sharpton inciting those anti-Semitic riots, too.
This is the Chris Plant Show.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station.
Making sense of the news.
News Talk 105.9. News now.
Mail News at 10:30. I'm John Matthews. President Trump's Friday deadline for the Kremlin to stop the killing has arrived, and he's eyeing a possible summit with Vladimir Putin to discuss the conflict. But his efforts to pressure Putin for a ceasefire in Ukraine have delivered no progress so far. The White House has announced an increased federal law enforcement presence for at least the next week, amid President Trump's threat to take over running the city. This initiative will, as I said, last at least a week, but there will be an option to extend. The president says crime's out of control. Local officials cite police data that shows crime is down compared to last year. One of the largest proposed data center projects in the world, the Prince William Digital Gateway, is canceled for now. A judge Thursday killed the project, saying the county failed to properly advertise public hearings. If the ruling survives the appeal process, the entire project would have to be approved all over again. Traffic and weather next.
This report is sponsored by Scandinavian Designs. Buy more, save more at Scandinavian Designs Furniture. For a limited time, save $200 instantly for every $800 you spend in store. Complete your look for less or splurge on something you love. Stop by your local showroom today or shop online at ScandinavianDesigns.com.
Steve Hirshhorn in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
On 66 eastbound, very slow right now as you pass the 234 bypass toward 29 Centerville. After that, you're good as you continue toward the Beltway. Beltway Interloop northbound 495, pretty slow now from 123 up to the work zone before the American Legion Bridge once again today. I-95 southbound is pretty slow as you make your way down from Lorton to 123, more delays on 95 south from Dale Boulevard to 234 Dumfries, and then continuing south through Stafford County, you're going to be in a delay from 630 Courthouse Road down to Centerport Parkway. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Sunshine and 84 today at 74 at Reagan National. John Matthews, News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
I'm Kiana, and I leveled up my business with Shopify. Once I figured out that Shopify was a thing, I never turned back. I can create a site with my eyes closed. Shopify thinks ahead of us, and it thinks about the customer more than anything. Every day I'm thinking about some other new business, but Shopify is doing it to me because it's so easy to use. It's like I can't stop. I'm addicted.
Start your free trial at Shopify.com.
At the new Verizon store in Watertown, get the best of Verizon. Find all the latest deals on new devices, your favorites in music and streaming, and all the accessories you need. Switch today and pay $50 a month for a single line. That's right, just $50 a month when you bring in your phone on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. So come in now and let the savings begin. Stop by the new Verizon store at 129 Arsenal Yards Boulevard in Watertown today. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Ready for your bar or restaurant to score big? Serve up more sports with Spectrum Business Sportsman TV for only $60 per month and make your bar or restaurant a fan favorite. Plus, get every live out-of-market Sunday afternoon game with purchase of NFL Sunday Ticket from EverPass. That's more plays, more games, and the football your fans want. So score big for your bar or restaurant at spectrum.com/scorebig. Restrictions apply. Services not available in all areas.
America. We are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. By honoring your sacred vocation of business, you impact your family, your friends, and your community. At Grand Canyon University, our MBA degree program is 100% online, with emphases in business analytics and finance to help you reach your goals. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Here's a brief message from industry. This ad is brought to you by GSK. We invite you to visit hcp-myelofibrosis-treatment.com to explore data and resources. That's hcp-myelofibrosis-treatment.com. Thanks for listening to the message from industry.
WMAL, making sense of social media, because big tech can't be trusted. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Oh, yeah, we'll hear about Jasmine Crockett, Democrat Congressman Jasmine Crockett, and an update on Jeffrey Epstein, too. Because turns out Jeffrey Epstein and the FBI were dating. They were seeing each other. So we've got that. But right now, let's go to New York. And I got to tell you, Doug was great, wasn't he? I wish I had more time. I hit the wall. Hit that mandatory thing, but Doug, great, and it's true. The Reverend Al Charlatan, a virulent anti-Semite, incited riots in Crown Heights in New York, and led to two murders, and then NBC said, "Hey, let's hire him as an opinion maker because he's called the Reverend, and he's going to need medical help real soon because look at him." But that's not important now. Let's go to soundbite number 5, Zohran Mamdani, because Zohran Mamdani was on the loose yesterday, and he is the Democrat, communist, jihadi, America-hating, anti-Semite, wipe Israel off the face of the map, destroy Western civilization. Modern Democrat. He's a totally typical Democrat in 2025 at this point. But Zohran Mamdani was on the loose yesterday in New York. And he's planning on winning the mayoral race there. How's he going to do that? Well, he's going to do it by saying, "Orange man bad," and hoping that all the Democrats will vote for him. Here's Zohran Mamdani yesterday.
My administration would be Donald Trump's worst nightmare.
Ah, yes.
And you don't need to take me at my word or take Andrew Cuomo at his. You need to only look at the actions of the Trump administration since I won the Democratic primary.
Uh-huh.
How else can you describe a president who has proposed denaturalizing the Democratic nominee of New York City? How else can you describe a president who has sought to entertain suggestions of deporting me, of arresting me, of taking control of the city over the will of New Yorkers? Those are the actions of a president who is afraid of the fact that I will actually deliver in a manner where he is simply betrayed.
He has betrayed New York City, and he's running on an anti-Donald Trump platform because he wants to be mayor of New York City. And the lefties in New York City, he assumes, are as crazy as he is. And he was the winner of the Democratic primary for the mayor. But isn't that amazing? Now, Zohran Mamdani his application for a student visa about his affiliation with radical groups and terrorist groups. And then when the Democrats hear about it, they're like, so what? He lied about, supporting genocide and terrorism on his application for a student visa. Why would that be a problem? And they honestly don't think that that's a problem. I think President Trump did raise the question, and that's all, as to whether Zohran Mamdani, an extremist and a radical, whether there is any reason to look at the process that he went through to become a naturalized U.S. citizen, and whether there are any deceptions there that might make the whole thing illegal, since he's a bad guy. He's one of the bad guys. There's no doubt about that. He's 33 years old. He was allegedly born in Kampala, Uganda. He was just there to...
fuckers.
The mayor's race. What? Why he's ripping Trump? Is Trump running for something in New York? I think Trump grew up in New York. He didn't grow up in South Africa or Uganda. The truth is, this guy has been living in New York since he was 7 years old, but never mind that. So New York Democratic mayoral nominee Zohran Mamdani, and then middle name Kwame Mamdani, heavily criticized reported moves, not clearly things that President Trump has done, but reported moves by President Trump regarding the mayoral race. And so Mamdani's out there yesterday, and I'm anti-Trump, and I'm going to fight against Trump when I become mayor of New York. So wait a minute, you're the mayor of our most populous city, and you're running on a platform of being against the president of the United States, and you want to pick a fight with the president of the United States, and that's what you're running on. And Democrats who occasionally self-immolate and firebomb various locations, they're going to say, hey, I like that. He's going to be a demented, disagreeable, hostile, power-drunk lunatic. And that's exactly who we want for mayor of New York City. And he'll bring in lots of illegal aliens who will kill and rape and loot and set things on fire. And that'll make our city more fun than ever. Zohran Kwame Mamdani.
Former Governor Cuomo has been conspiring with President Trump about the fate of this city, about the future of this city, about the facts of this race.
Conspiring.
It is knowledge that is a betrayal of everything that we stand for as New Yorkers.
Well, that's true.
Knowledge
is betrayal.
That disappoints us, and yet it does not surprise us.
Conspiring. Cuomo should sue him for accusing him of committing a felony or something. And it's disappointing, but it's not a surprise. Conspiring with Trump. So this is his accusation for Andrew Cuomo, the former governor who let all those people die in the Wuhan death houses that he set up and groped every woman that walked by him. But when you're a Democrat, that's fine, because he could still win the next political office. Isn't it amazing to be a Democrat? And what's he running on again? Trump bad.
New Yorkers do not want a mayor who is working in tandem with the president to subvert the will of the people of this city.
Working in tandem. They don't want a mayor who's working in tandem with the president of the United States to subvert the will of the city. The will of the city is to wipe Israel off the map from the river to the sea. And what else is the will of the people? To a global thermonuclear war, destroy Western civilization, kill all the Jews, and do away with capitalism, because he's anti-capitalist as well. Isn't he amazing? Yes, sir. And Andrew Cuomo, he was the governor. Gropey McGropeface is his code name. And Andrew Cuomo came out and he's campaigning against Mamdani because Mamdani won the Democratic nomination to be their nominee, their candidate for mayor of New York.
Sanctuary law, I will defend it with every ounce of strength. By the way, the state has a sanctuary state law, which I did by executive order. So state sanctuary city policy, state sanctuary law, New York City sanctuary city policy, I would enforce them 100%.
enforce not the law. He wouldn't enforce the law 100%. He would enforce sanctuary city laws and statewide, when he was governor, sanctuary state laws. Now let's tick off the number of New Yorkers murdered and robbed and raped by illegal aliens and gang members from other countries that came in illegally. That's all. That's how good what the Democrats are fighting for. The United States of America, we are on the rocks. We are so, not like a nice cocktail, but like a ship that's gone ashore on the rocks. Truly amazing stuff. Yes, sir. They are not on our side. Yeah. So what is that now? The Mamdani family. That's right. What are they? They own a sugar plantation in Uganda. Is that what they own? Is there? They got. We were talking about the wedding there. A compound, a walled compound with at least 3 gates that the news media could spot, surrounded by armed militia members in camouflage with Russian-made combat assault rifles protecting the plantation, if you will, of his father in Uganda. And Mamdani was there for several days and then was kind of being shamed into coming back to New York City. They have another super wealthy Uganda family where they're exploiting, where everybody's saddling up with the communist Chinese there too, which works for all of them. Isn't that great? Just amazing stuff. Now, I mentioned earlier also, speaking of New York, I think it was in New York, there was a prison where Jeffrey Epstein didn't hang himself. Am I right about that? Is that was happening there? And this is pretty amazing. The leaked FBI document shows Epstein, talking about Jeffrey Epstein now, was an FBI informant. I'm sorry, what? Jeffrey Epstein was an FBI informant, and then was he informing on the Clintons? Because that might explain how he ended up at the end of a rope or a sheet or whatever it was. The Democrat Party they're not democratic. They're not on our side anymore. And again, I grew up in a Democrat household, but my mother would find it unrecognizable, as Robert F. Kennedy said, that his father and his uncle would find the Democratic Party to be unrecognizable today. Just amazing what they have become. Again, sending a severed pig's head to a real estate man in Las Vegas, Nevada. We've got all kinds of pandemonium going on here across the country. Amazing stuff. But that's okay. And now it turns out that the reporting, and there is wide reporting on this now, that the FBI, there's a new document, and I lost it here in my computer because it cashed in on me here. The Epstein was an FBI informant. And what does that have to do with anything? Well, why would we just be learning that now, years later? Epstein's association with the FBI as an informant been the subject of speculation in a recent documentary. But it turns out now the Economic Times, Jeffrey Epstein was not only a sex offender, but wait, it gets worse, also an FBI informant. Wait a minute, what's worse is the leaked files suggest. There are now leaked files. Jeffrey Epstein, not only a sex offender, but also an FBI informant, a spy for the FBI. Is that going to be a problem? Well, it's not really going to be a problem for him at this point, but newly uncovered FBI documents have revealed that Jeffrey Epstein, the disgraced financier and convicted sex offender who died in jail in 2019, and it's 6 years later, and we're still getting the slow roll on all of this, aren't we? Yes, we are. Died in jail in 2019, was more than just a protected figure. He was a secret informant and intelligence asset of the FBI. This bombshell information obtained exclusively by Radar Online. Not the New York Times, the Washington Post, or 60 Minutes, or ABC News, but Radar Online. Through a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit. Well, why didn't 60 Minutes file a lawsuit through the Freedom of Information Act to get these documents? No, Radar Online did. not the Washington Post, sheds new light on Epstein's controversial 2007 plea deal and longstanding suspicions about his immunity from federal prosecution. According to an internal FBI cable dated September 9 of 2008, special agents noted that Epstein was actively providing information to the FBI, quote, as agreed upon, end quote, and that no federal prosecution would proceed as long as he complied with the agreement made with the state of Florida. Okay. This cable marked routine, not classified or highly classified or anything like that. Marked routine because it's the FBI and a lot of shady stuff going on behind the curtain. Strongly suggest Epstein was cooperating with federal authorities before his notorious plea deal that saw him plead guilty to reduced state charges and serve only 13 months in a largely work release jail arrangement. The document also indicated that the FBI did not require further forfeiture assistance related to the case at that time. Isn't that wonderful? Sure, reflecting a working relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and the agency, the FBI, predating public knowledge. So long before that, and why is it that we never learned about this? We never heard anything about this. That's kind of peculiar, don't you think? I think that's odd. But Radar Online, and again, of all the news organizations on the planet Earth, you got a hold of this. Does anybody do anything in journalism anymore other than just squawk whatever the Democrat Party wants you to squawk about? I want to talk to you about living a better digital life. Who doesn't want that? With one of our newest partners. We love our new partner, WebRoot. I chose WebRoot because of the Total Protection Plan. WebRoot's all-in-one package offers an option for individuals, allowing up to, covers up to 5 devices, or with a family package, up to 10 devices. They have you covered no matter what, no matter which way you go. WebRoot's coverage includes antivirus protection, identity protection, VPN backup, and a whole lot more. And listen, you got kids on the internet, of course you do, with phones and iPads and things. You've got adults in college and in high school. You've got seniors. You've got everybody. And WebRoot covers everybody. WebRoot allows my best girl and I to live a better digital life, and that's why I want to recommend WebRoot to you. You ought to do the same. Get 50% off right now. WebRoot's Total Protection or WebRoot's Essentials when you go to webroot.com/plant. That's me. Again, get 50% off WebRoot Total Protection or WebRoot Essentials when you go to webroot.com/plant. Yes, sir. Yeah, so Jeffrey Epstein and the FBI. So, the FBI is not doing very well these days, are they? Seems like they've got a lot of Democrats there. Is that what it sounds like to you?
I am an FBI agent. I know, man.
You're listening to the Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
You didn't start a business just to keep the lights on. You're here to sell more today than yesterday. You're here to win. Lucky for you, Shopify built the best converting checkout on the planet. Like the just one tapping, ridiculously fast acting, sky-high sales stacking, champion at checkout. That's the good stuff right there. So if your business is in it to win it, win with Shopify. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/win.
It's the $100,000 Lucky Draw at Mohawk Casino. Are you ready to make a match and win big? From July 1st through August 23rd, earn your weekly quick pick number every Monday or Tuesday when you earn just 100 points. Then come back for Saturday night drawings July 12th, 26th, and August 9th and 23rd for your shot at up to $100,000 cash. Match all 6 numbers to win the grand prize or win slot play starting with just one match. It's the $100,000 Lucky Draw, only at Akwesasne Mohawk Casino Resort, your everyday escape.
And we are back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get Wi-Fi.
Yes, we need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
He watched his stocks dip again. His phone buzzed. Another crypto headline. But this time, he didn't panic. He made a gold-minded move. He called Goldco, the top-rated leader in precious metals. Because gold isn't about chasing trends. It's about helping to protect what matters. Be gold-minded. Call Goldco now. 855-GOLD-IRA to claim your complimentary 2025 gold and silver kit and ask about unlimited bonus silver, tax and penalty free. Goldco. Call 855-GOLD-IRA. That's 855-GOLD-IRA.
Lowe's knows when you're looking for reliability, the right brand makes all the difference. And now, Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retailer for the Whirlpool water treatment line, including their Wi-Fi softener, under-sink filtration system, and more. With Whirlpool's proven performance and our everyday low prices, better tasting, better quality water is within reach. Shop pro-trusted brands like Whirlpool and more, in-store or online. Lowe's, we help, you save.
At the new Verizon store in Watertown, get the best of Verizon. Find all the latest deals on new devices, your favorites in music and streaming, and all the accessories you need. Switch today and pay $50 a month for a single line. That's right, just $50 a month when you bring in your phone on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. So come in now and let the savings begin. Stop by the new Verizon store at 129 Arsenal Yards Boulevard in Watertown today. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
It's the $100,000 Lucky Draw at Mohawk Casino. Are you ready to make a match and win big? From July 1st through August 23rd, earn your weekly quick pick number every Monday or Tuesday when you earn just 100 points. Then come back for Saturday night drawings July 12th, 26th, and August 9th and 23rd for your shot at up to $100,000 cash. Match all 6 numbers to win the grand prize or win slot play starting with just one match. It's the $100,000 Lucky Draw, only at Akwesasne Mohawk Casino Resort, your everyday escape.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're grinding out bicep curls or muscling the couch across the living room, crushing morning miles, or sprinting through back-to-back meetings, Smoothie King has fuel to help you maximize your workouts, own your recovery, and elevate your game. Give your body the energy, protein, and power it needs with a lineup of delicious smoothies made to help you conquer your goals. Only at Smoothie King.
For a local news source you can trust, visit WMAL.com.
Thank God for that.
Get the day's top stories, stream your favorite WMAL shows, access our podcast archives, and more. WMAL.com, making sense of your world online.
At the new Verizon store in Watertown, get the best of Verizon. Find all the latest deals on new devices, your favorites in music and streaming, and all the accessories you need. Switch today and pay $50 a month for a single line. That's right, just $50 a month when you bring in your phone on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. So come in now and let the savings begin. Stop by the new Verizon store at 129 Arsenal Yards Boulevard in Watertown today. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
WMAL, making sense of mainstream media, because the double standard is real. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Let's go back to the telephones. Let's see. Let's go to Rachel calling from Clark County, Virginia. Rachel, you're on the Chris Plant Show. Rachel. Hello, Rachel. Rachel, no home. Let's go to Mike calling from South Riding, Virginia. Michael, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hi, Chris. Good morning.
Hey, Mike.
Talking about the Democrats and supporting crime. I'm 68, and I remember even in the mid 60s when I was about 6 or 7, and I started watching the news and reading the newspapers and stuff. The Democrats have supported crime since at least the mid 60s. You know, whenever crimes were committed, especially in D.C., Democrats would come out. You know, you can't blame the kid who held up the liquor store because mommy didn't give him breakfast that morning and he was angry. And then a little later into the mid 70s or so, it became you have to blame society. It's not their fault that they committed the crime. They had no choice, and it's been going on ever since. So seeing the Democrats, they still support crime. And, I tell people, I say, why are you surprised? Go back and do some research. Go back and look at the 60s and how the Democrats supported crime. They haven't changed.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I don't know what, Lee Harvey Oswald and James Earl Ray come to mind, and James Hodgkinson and James Crooks, who shot Trump. Yeah, the Democrat Party is a violent political party.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 11. Good morning. I'm John Matthews. A meeting between President Trump and Vladimir Putin has been agreed to for late next week. That, according to Fox News.
It will be President Trump's first sit-down with Putin since 2019 at the G20 summit in Osaka. The location for this meeting is still up in the air, but I'm told that Hungary, Switzerland, and UAE are in the mix. There were also some discussions about Rome. I'm told that Putin's first choice was Hungary, not UAE, as has been reported in some places, suggested in some places.
Fox News' Jackie Heinrich. As talks continue to end the war in Ukraine, Israel says it's planning a complete takeover of Gaza.
Israel controls some 75% of the Gaza Strip, but there is land where civilians are huddled, hostages held. Hamas is holding up. This could take weeks, including the evacuation of the civilians and the deployment of the Israeli military. The plan is not without its controversy. The hostages, especially the 20 still living, will be in direct line of fire, and this happens as Israel deals with the humanitarian problem. The U.S. and Israeli-backed aid units are barely keeping up. Greg Malcott, Fox News.
We're now 11 hours into a week-long operation to expand the federal law enforcement presence in D.C.
Officers from the U.S. Park Police, Homeland Security, ATF, and other federal agencies are stepping up their presence around the nation's capital as part of a 7-day operation. President Trump issued an executive order for a task force to make D.C. safe and beautiful after complaining the city's crime rate was too high. Both carjackings and homicides dropped significantly last year after spikes in 2023, but there have still been high-profile incidents, including the beating of a former DOJ official last weekend. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The data center industry cannot be thrilled with the ruling to void the Prince William Digital Gateway, but others are doing the happy dance.
The taste of victory has been so sweet for us out here in western Prince William County.
Former Supervisor Janine Lawson with O'Connor and Company after the ruling by a judge to void the plan on the grounds that developers didn't comply with proper notice in advance of public hearings.
We all need data centers because we're all living on our phones and laptops and whatnot, but that doesn't mean that Prince William County has to be the dumping ground for the world's data center industry.
The plan along the edge of the Manassas battlefield would have housed nearly 40 data centers. Scotland on WMAL and WMAL.com.
The North American Scrabble Championships open today at the Live Casino in Anne Arundel County. Yes, that is a thing. More than 300 players from 47 states and 7 countries are taking place in 6 days of timed matches. Players will play from start to finish.
There's actually not elimination. There are 31 matches, and if you lose them all or win them all, you
Asian in Cincinnati, and the nice woman who got the mic.
My battery thing shut it down. I'm back though.
She appeared on the
I'm
television.
cooking a steak.
And I want to share that with you, that the woman who was violently beaten by a criminal gangster racist thug in downtown Cincinnati, speaking out after having been forced into hiding following her near-death experience. It's a terrible video. It genuinely is. The guy stomping on the head of the white guy who had been beaten to the ground, and then there's a woman who's a mother of three came up to intervene, and a woman from Ohio, a native of the great state of Ohio. She's a single mother of three kids and enjoying a night out on the town in Cincinnati. It was a friend's birthday. Yeah, sure. And she called an Uber. It was time to head home. She's waiting for the Uber car to show up. And fights broke out on the corner. Violence breaks out on the corner because there were Democrats there. Elm Street at 4th, the city's downtown area. It was around 3 a.m., July 26th. And there's video footage that you may have seen. Fox News Digital has shown the video, and others have as well. An unidentified man yelling racial slurs while being beaten in the streets. Now, talking to a liberal who's black, and he said, well, I heard somebody yelled racial slurs. Is that after a gang of 10 people were beating on him, or what was the impetus? What was the starting point? Give me the chronology of that. But the Democrats are like, well, he might have used the N-word like rappers do and get the Pulitzer Prize for. He might have used a word that white people aren't allowed to use, but that black people can use 500 times a day in every sentence. And it's better if it has an A on the end. Isn't that right? A on the end makes it more palatable to the Democrats. But just amazing. Someone yelling racial slurs, being beaten in the street. And more video scene shows the male victim slapping a member of the group seconds before the fight escalated. So it's Whitey's fault, the white guy over there. So there it is. And the video doesn't show the beginning, but never mind that. And that's when everyone, like a pack of wolves. Now, the woman is allowing her name Holly to be used, but she wants to remain
Must have
anonymous
retracted that
because
comment.
A Democrat, she fears for her life. And I actually have a friend who's from Cincinnati. And when this video surfaced, I spoke to him about it. And he said, yes, well, that is a neighborhood that everyone, I'm making quotation marks with my fingers, that everyone knows not to go to, especially late at night. The neighborhood that everyone knows not to go to, especially late at night. I think that neighborhood is probably going to change the clientele for the restaurants and birthday parties and so on, may be changing. But let's go to Holly, because Holly, known only as Holly, because of fear. Holly explained what she saw, and you've probably seen the pictures, very probably seen the video. The knockout punch that was delivered was vicious and out of control from another Democrat career criminal who probably should be incarcerated and should have been incarcerated that night. But here is Holly explaining her experiences.
We came outside, and there were some comments about, white people shouldn't be out here, or we're going to go night-night, you white bleep words. And so, definitely it was a little scary. And then when they started circling, there were, it was just an attack that should have never happened.
I think that's fair to say. And again, it was very late. Looks like it was around closing time. And, once again, we said this earlier this week, Mom used to say nothing good ever happens after 2 a.m., which is mostly true, but maybe not 100% and entirely true. But that's pretty amazing. So she's coming out, and the way she describes it, and she's in this neighborhood. She's not afraid. It's late at night. She's getting an Uber because they've been out and partying and getting a ride home. And she stepped outside, and she describes it that immediately you're getting a lot of oh, these white beeps, you got no reason to be here. And, so immediately racial slurs being hurled at her. And this is before any fighting has begun, right? And, liberals will blame the victims because they're racists, primarily. Holly continued.
There were a lot of people in the attack. Now that some of the people have been arrested, they have rap sheets that go on for days. And especially the man who punched me in the face, he had just got out of jail a few months before and had felonies on him. And I don't understand why he was running the streets, and a lot of other people should have never even been out of jail to even do this to me or the others.
And it's 3:00 in the morning, and these criminals are out there. They see white people leaving a restaurant, start hurling racial slurs at them, tell them they shouldn't be there. And then, one thing leads to another. But again, you heard her describing it. And if you simply reversed the races in this story and put that video out there, CNN would still be talking about it every hour of every day, and they'd be fanning the flames of racial discord. But when you have this as the racial composition of the incident, then the news media blows it off. I mean, it's like Congressman Steve Scalise being shot by a Bernie Sanders campaign volunteer. That was a one-day story. In fact, it was a half-day story. It was truly amazing how they let that story drop. And this is one of the, it's how about George Floyd, who, another career criminal, his bloodstream coursing with fentanyl and methamphetamine, who died of cardiac failure while resisting arrest yet again after committing yet another felony, passing counterfeit money and ripping off a nice little immigrant man who's trying to make his way in the United States of America. But then the Democrats came along. Holly was talking to the people at Fox News.
Everyone was standing around recording and egging it on and, cheering to them. And I kept waiting for the police to show up and waiting and terrified, And when I realized the police weren't going to come, I could hear someone, the man that I jumped in front of, literally crying to God, please God, somebody save me, somebody help me. It was the third time he had been knocked down and kicked in his face over and over. Somebody had told me 57 times.
You got to do a slow motion count on that one, because the beating and the whole gang of people going after him and racial slurs being hurled, and the young woman, this mother of three who was leaving, a single mother of three who's leaving, and she's knocked out like she's in the ring with Mike Tyson, and the little criminal threw a heck of a punch. I give him that. Now, it's a pretty amazing story. A single mother laying unconscious on the asphalt, blood pours from her mouth. Another individual eventually coming over to help her. And she actually got in her Uber car and she went home, because that was as good as it was going to get. But when she woke up the next day, she looked like Chuck Wepner. So it's a fighter from a long time ago that Muhammad Ali beat to a pulp. But it looks just beaten to. So she last night she was on the Ingram angle talking to Laura Ingram on the Fox News channel. And isn't that amazing? I definitely didn't seem like an incident. It definitely didn't seem like an incident. It seemed like a beatdown. Holly said, I look at it as attempted murder. I mean, there is no other way to describe it. Holly, last night.
It is traumatizing. I know my 5-year-old can't stop crying. Every time she would look at me, she'd give me hugs and kisses and say, Mommy, I have to kiss your face, because every time I look at it, it makes me sad. My oldest daughter told me last night, she said she thinks she needs therapy because she's not okay.
Yeah, who's got little kids and the Democrat Party and the news media, honestly. Well. There's another story out of Baltimore today, and you may have seen the video. The video emerged today Man caught on video attacking pro-life protester gets slap on the wrist by judge. Isn't that amazing? The video is pretty extraordinary. This savage Democrat, 28-year-old man, caught on video attacking two pro-life activists outside a Planned Parenthood clinic in Baltimore, snuffing out the black children, was sentenced this week to a year of home detention and 3 years of probation. You got to see the video. Baltimore Circuit Judge Yvette M. Bryant rebuffed prosecutors' calls for a 10-year prison sentence against Patrick Bryce, 28 years old, who was found guilty of 2 counts of second-degree assault and reckless endangerment in relation to the May 2023 incident, according to the Baltimore Banner. Now, one of the victims in the attack, Mark Crosby, who was 73 years old at the time, pro-life man. What about my rights and my well-being? He shouted at Judge Bryant on Thursday as she left the bench. What about my rights? And the Democrats, they defend the criminals, and they could care less. I did it again. They couldn't care less about the victims of the crimes that the Democrats perpetrate. What about my rights and my well-being? Say he was 73 years old at the time. And you got to see what this 28-year-old did in assaulting this 73-year-old man. Picked him up and body slammed him. And after he was body slammed and looked like he was, injured in serious ways, came up and kicked his face like he was kicking a 48-yard field goal. Why 48 yards? Just because. So, the prosecutor said, this guy needs 10 years. This is in Baltimore. He needs 10 years. And no, you'll get 1 year of home detainment, but you can go to the store and you can go out, you can do stuff, and don't worry about that. And Yvette Bryant is the judge, and she decided, well, I don't really care that you got your face kicked like it's a football on the 48-yard line, but never mind that. The other victim was 84 years old, right? Now, Bryce said on May 26, 2023, he intended to debate Richard Schaefer, the other victim, who was 84 years old, about the concept of sin outside the Planned Parenthood facility. Then he lost it after Schaefer made what he perceived as a racial remark. Sure, that's what happened. It was the 84-year-old or the 73-year-old that made the racial remark. Sure, that's what happened. Yes. What, you're killing all the black babies in the Baltimore Planned Parenthood? Was that the racial remark? These people are something. The Baltimore Banner is covering the story. The Washington Post is not, because they're not on the side of civilization anymore. Surveillance video showed Bryce shoving Schaefer into a flower pot and then assaulting Crosby when he rushed to his aid. And that's a generous understatement. I mean, he upends the man, throws him to the ground, crouched down over him, threw just roundhouse punches to his face again and again. And when he got up, then he kicked a field goal with his head, right? I just snapped one day, Bryce was quoted by the Baltimore Banner as saying in court on Thursday, and he apologized to both men. Part of a sentence, Bryce must complete anger management classes. Again, he's pro-death, and he's out there assaulting an 84-year-old and a 73-year-old and beating them mercilessly and kicking field goals with their faces. And just stay at home for a year. That's no big deal. Knocked unconscious, one of the victims. The other suffered broken facial bones and a lifelong eye impairment. Sure. Why would that be a problem with the Democrat judge in Baltimore? Yeah, the video, if you haven't seen the video, it's stunning. And then the Democrats take over, and they're pro-crime. It kind of accidentally became a theme on today's radio broadcast of the Democrats love crime. But they prove it all day, every day, everywhere you look. You shoot a CEO in the back in New York and murder him, and you become a hero of the Democrat Party. The girls want to date him, and Democrat parents want their daughters to date him in prison. Aren't they great? They love the MS-13 member wife beater and human trafficker. They love him. You got Van Hollen, Senator Van Hollen, going to visit him and enjoy margaritas with him in El Salvador. They're not on the side of civilization. They're the left. They're not liberals. Hey, I want to talk to you about living a better digital life, on the internet with your phone and your computers and stuff. With the help of one of our newest partners, WebRoot. I chose WebRoot because the total protection plan, as a WebRoot's all-in-one package, offers plan options for individuals. They'll cover up to 5 devices for an individual, up to 10 devices for a family, with the family package. And they got you covered no matter what. WebRoot's coverage includes antivirus protection, identity theft protection, VPN backup, and a whole lot more. And you don't need to be an adult because kids are on the internet too, aren't they? WebRoot wants to make sure your entire family is protected. Whether you've got a toddler on an iPad or an iPhone, a student in high school or college, a senior citizen. WebRoot allows for my best girl and I to live a better digital life, and that's why I want to recommend that you do the same with WebRoot. Right now, you get 50% off at WebRoot with their total protection plan or WebRoot's Essentials when you go to webroot.com/plant. Again, you get 50% off WebRoot's total protection or WebRoot's Essentials when you go to webroot.com/plant. Yes, sir.
Hey, green onions.
It is kind of an awful thing. Now let's find something, less Democrat related to talk about, because these guys, I got to tell you, if you're a registered Democrat at this point, there might be something terribly wrong with your brain.
I'm going to punch him out. I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to be happy.
There's only one Chris Plant. The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
This is the story breaking right now.
Fox 1 is coming soon, which means soon you can be there live for all the biggest moments. And witness history as it's made.
It's not about me. It's about what this human spaceflight program is about. It's our national goals.
Get all of your favorite news, sports, and entertainment for the side of.
I think I may have peed a little.
All in one app, streaming live on August the 21st. Fox 1.
At the new Verizon store in Watertown, get the best of Verizon. Find all the latest deals on new devices, your favorites in music and streaming, and all the accessories you need. Switch today and pay $50 a month for a single line. That's right, just $50 a month when you bring in your phone on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. So come in now and let the savings begin. Stop by the new Verizon store at 129 Arsenal Yards Boulevard in Watertown today. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Have you discussed treatment options with your patients? Talk to them about Dovato, dolutegravir, and lamivudine. Visit the refreshed DovatoHCP.com to learn more today and to access full prescribing information, including box warning. This ad is for U.S. healthcare professionals and brought to you by V Healthcare.
I'm Brent, and I've been on Nutrafol for almost 5 years now. When my hair first started thinning, I wanted to attack the problem head on. I liked Nutrafol because it was a hair growth supplement that was completely drug-free. After 3 months, my hair got stronger and thicker, which gave a huge boost to my social life. I mean, it was life-changing, to be honest.
Start your hair growth journey at Nutrafol.com/men. That's Nutrafol.com/men. Real customers are compensated to share their stories. Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're grinding out bicep curls or muscling the couch across the living room, crushing morning miles, or sprinting through back-to-back meetings, Smoothie King has fuel to help you maximize your workouts, own your recovery, and elevate your game. Give your body the energy, protein, and power it needs with a lineup of delicious smoothies made to help you conquer your goals. Only at Smoothie King.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
At the new Verizon store in Watertown, get the best of Verizon. Find all the latest deals on new devices, your favorites in music and streaming, and all the accessories you need. Switch today and pay $50 a month for a single line. That's right, just $50 a month when you bring in your phone on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. So come in now and let the savings begin. Stop by the new Verizon store at 129 Arsenal Yards Boulevard in Watertown today. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Lowe's knows that more projects mean more tools. For a limited time, new and existing MyLowe's Rewards credit card members can get 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more, in-store and online. Don't wait to get the things you need. Get special financing today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Now through August 27th, choose 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more. Offer subject to credit approval and cannot be combined. Minimum monthly payments required. See store at Lowe's.com for details.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems, like snoring, aches and pains, hot sleep, or even an old saggy mattress that can keep you up at night. And our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. You now get a king bed for a queen price, plus a free adjustable base with select mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
When it's time to scale your business, it's time for Shopify. Get everything you need to grow the way you want. Like
Mary, that's what you look like right there.
stack more sales with the best converting checkout on the planet. Track your cha-chings from every channel, right in one spot, and turn real-time reporting into big-time opportunities. Take your business to a whole new level. Switch to Shopify. Start your free trial today.
This afternoon on the Derek Hunter Show, Democrats are going to hate you anyway. You might as well make fun of them in the process. 3 o'clock on WMAL.
President Trump has pulled off another peace deal, stopping another war. The headline is U.S., meaning Trump, they don't want to give him credit, brokers a deal between long hostile Armenia and Azerbaijan. Two nations are expected to sign an agreement at the White House today, Friday. Leaders of Armenia and Azerbaijan are going to sign a joint declaration today at the White House, committing to a peace deal. Not so bad.
This is the Chris Plant Show.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station.
Making sense of the news.
News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 11:30. I'm Heather Curtis. Breaking this hour, an appeals court tosses out a judge's finding holding the Trump administration in criminal contempt of court for allegedly rushing deportations to El Salvador under the Alien Enemies Act before illegal immigrants could challenge their removal in court. The lower court judge ruled that they willfully the county and developers to appeal. Traffic and weather next.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Here's Steve Hirschhorn in the Hayden Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
On this Friday, 95 southbound is still very heavy slow from Norton down to 123, and then from Dale Boulevard into Stafford County down towards Centerport Parkway. After that, the accident that was on 95 south at Route 3 in Fredericksburg was just cleared away. Those delays are easing up. On the Beltway Outer Loop, delays beginning right around River Road now to get across the American Legion Bridge over to the work zone that is before the George Washington Parkway, and that's blocking one right lane. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Today, mostly sunny with a high near 84. Tonight, mostly clear, a low around 64. Right now, 76 degrees in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis. Sun News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Best ball is back, and it's only at DraftKings. We're talking a $15 million guaranteed prize pool, with 2 millionaires being crowned for first and second place. Download the DraftKings app and use code BLOCK. That's code BLOCK for all customers who enter the NFL Best Ball $15 million millionaire contest to get a bonus ticket and get a shot at being crowned one of 2 millionaires. Only on DraftKings. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. 18 and over in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. One per new customer. Enter the Best Ball 15 million headliner contest by 9/4/25 to get one bonus entry. $20 entry fee required. Reward expires in 30 days. See terms at DraftKings.com/NFL-best-ball.
Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're grinding out bicep curls or muscling the couch across the living room, crushing morning miles, or sprinting through back-to-back meetings, Smoothie King has fuel to help you maximize your workouts, own your recovery, and elevate your game. Give your body the energy, protein, and power it needs with a lineup of delicious smoothies made to help you conquer your goals. Only at Smoothie King.
I was choosing alcohol over my family. That's when I made the call. Now I'm finding better ways to cope.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Hey, 20 would you bid 30, 30 would you bid 40. That's the sound you're going to hear at the next Brostek auction. Hi, I'm Bernie Brostek of Brostek's Real Estate Auction Company of Baldwinsville, New York, and I have 40 years of proven experience in selling antiques, businesses, estates, households, residential and commercial and waterfront real estate. Call me at 678-2000 for a free, no-obligation consultation and find out how you can receive top cash price for your real estate and personal property in one day the Brostek auction way. And it's sold.
Hi, I'm Vince Galladay, host of The Vince Show and Vince Podcast. It's a show with an obsessive focus on what's good for America. I'll give you the truth beneath the headlines of all of the nation's top stories. The Vince Show is redefining news.
Glad you guys like my new friend Nate. He's my neighbor.
Front row seat to the most important conversations of the day. Every day. The Vince Show and Vince Podcast.
WMAL is holidays, weekdays at noon. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
At the new Verizon store in Watertown, get the best of Verizon. Find all the latest deals on new devices, your favorites in music and streaming, and all the accessories you need. Switch today and pay $50 a month for a single line. That's right, just $50 a month when you bring in your phone on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. So come in now and let the savings begin. Stop by the new Verizon store at 129 Arsenal Yards Boulevard in Watertown today. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
WMAL, making sense of the border, because laws either matter or they don't. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
All right, we have a little Joy Reid. Joy Reid's a racist, and NBC News loves her. And I still haven't gotten to the meanest member of Congress to work for, Jasmine Crockett. She, the people that work for her on Capitol Hill don't like her at all. She's a slave driver, for one thing. Now, let's take a phone call. Let's go, and this is Rachel called back in. And has been hanging there very patiently. Let's go to Rachel calling from Clark County, Virginia. Rachel, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Are not clear, sensitive, because he's in Uganda, where they just passed the most strict anti-gay laws that render death on gay people, but then he wants to do, defund New York police because they're not queer sensitive. Are you freaking kidding me? And then the other hypocrisy thing, this gentleman who was beaten up, for standing being pro-life. Remember when the DOJ threw all those little old ladies in jail just for standing in front of an abortion clinic?
Yes, I do.
Just for standing in front of one.
Yeah, 73-year-old grandmother was put in prison for 2 years by Joe Biden and the Democrats because she was praying outside of an abortion clinic. And they said, they ironically, Rachel, they call it the FACE Act, F-A-C-E, like the little face on a baby writhing around in mommy's womb. And the FACE Act, because they allegedly were obstructing the entrance to an abortion clinic, which they say they weren't. And interestingly, there's no video of any of that, of them obstructing the thing that the Democrats could bring to bear, but they put the grandmother in prison for 2 years for being pro-life. And then the violent attack on these two guys, including a guy in his 80s and a guy in his 70s. And
I need a makeup artist.
Viciously violent attack by, 27, 28-year-old man who's a big, strong man and just brutally beat these people. The football kick to the face was completely over the top. And the Democrat judge in Baltimore says, 1 year home confinement. Sure, the busted facial bones and all this, but they were pro-life. And I was reading an idiot NBC product on that said, there was a racial term of some kind used. The violent attacker was a white guy, so I don't know what he was defending. And in downtown Baltimore, but yeah, they're violent. They're violent people, and yeah, the anti-LGBTQ laws in Uganda, where Mamdani's family is, where he was born, where they have a walled compound with armed men manning the 3 gates to their private property. And you're right. And I believe he owns a place, Mamdani, of his own in Uganda as well. But that's certainly where he goes to visit his family and all that good stuff. And I just grabbed a story on it from the radical left-wing extremists at Human Rights Watch. Uganda, they do love their colons. Court upholds anti-homosexuality act, entrenches discrimination, enhances risk of anti-LGBTQ violence, right? And Uganda's Constitutional Court, April of 2024, upheld the abusive and radical provisions of the 2023 Anti-Homosexuality Act, which makes homosexuality illegal and punishable by rule of law. Ruling further entrenches discrimination against lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender people and makes them prone to more violence. And that's Mamdani. But Rachel, when you're a Democrat, that all comes out in the wash. You don't even have to do anything. The New York Times does it for you. They eliminate that for you. You're never held accountable because you're a Democrat, and the New York Times is run by Democrats and CNN is run by Democrats. So it will never come up in a conversation with Mamdani. Am I right, Rachel?
Absolutely. It's always like that. And, it also makes me think of, I don't know if you've heard of the case of a man named Aaron Spencer from Arkansas, who literally woke up in the middle of the night to save his 12-year-old daughter from a former officer who kidnapped her and was grooming her for a year, tracked him down, saved his daughter. The groomer attacked it, the father shot him. Now he's sitting in prison for murder for this man. But, no help for him because he is a father, a Christian, and a conservative. So because of that, the police department, Democrat run, throw him in prison and no help for him or anybody else. It's just, we're left on our own. We can't do anything right. And it's good to be a Democrat.
Yeah. And you're right. I found in Uganda, including the death penalty for homosexuality in certain instances. Not for everybody, but death penalties available for gay people in Uganda, where Mamdani goes to visit his family and has his big fake wedding, even though he was already married. And the Democrat Party, they're quite remarkable, aren't they, Rachel?
Yes, they are. The hypocrisy never ceases to amaze me. Like you say, if they didn't have double standards, they would have none at all.
Yeah. Aren't you wonderful? You're just great.
I try. I try. I love you so much, Chris. Thank you so much. God bless. And hopefully I talk to you next week when I find some autocracy.
Don't overdose on it now, because I know it can be a hazard. It really can. Rachel, God bless. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend, a great American weekend. Isn't it wonderful? And I got to tell you, and Rachel, listen, what a great person Rachel is. Isn't that wonderful? And I got to tell President Trump, again, there is no Nobel Peace Prize for him, no soup for you, because the Democrats, the left in Sweden, and the ridiculous Nobel Committee gave Barack Obama the Nobel Peace Prize and $1 million that goes with it for melanin levels and nothing else. And then he used the U.S. military to attack 8 different countries. And that great. President Trump, on the other hand, just today, they've got another peace deal that will be signed at the White House under President Trump. And the news media won't cover it. And the Nobel Committee certainly won't even be aware of it. But President Trump, another peace deal, Azerbaijan and Armenia. The conflict has been going on forever and ever. And I got to tell you, the Democrats just attack and attack and attack. And they don't care when couples are being attacked on the streets of Cincinnati, when Israeli embassy employees are being gunned down on the streets of Washington, D.C., when CEOs are being gunned down on the streets of New York. Honestly, we're going to have to take over at least one state and turn it into the state of sanity, somewhere where normal will prevail. Wouldn't that be nice? That would be very nice. Also, the president, not only is he got another peace deal today that will be made official and signed at the White House today by Armenia and Azerbaijan. The Arab Emirates is one, and there are a couple of other. I think Hungary
Technology
is being considered. The nation of Hungary is being considered, and President Trump is getting Putin to the table to bring peace to Europe, where Joe Biden just fueled the war machine for years on end without a hint. His chief diplomat, Secretary of State Antony Blinken, never said a word about a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia. No talk at all in the news media about, hey, Antony Blinken, you're America's chief diplomat. Why aren't you negotiating peace in Europe between Ukraine and Russia? Nobody asked him, because that doesn't even come up. Isn't that amazing? So the White House is preparing for a meeting overseas, and the Nobel Committee is ignoring it and not watching, because they're still proud that they gave the Nobel Peace Prize to Barack Obama for who knows what. Isn't that amazing? Also going on in Israel, Israel's political security cabinet has approved a plan to take control of Gaza, or the Gaza, if you prefer, the Gaza. Man, oh man, oh Manischewitz. I am telling you. Also, a lot of fun. The Department of Justice has issued 2 subpoenas for New York State Attorney General Letitia James, because they're all crooks. They're
there they are again.
Because they're the left. They're like any communist country you find anywhere. You secure a position of power so that you can abuse that position of power. Isn't that amazing? One of the subpoenas investigating whether Letitia James and the state of New York sued the National Rifle Association solely for the purpose of violating their First Amendment rights and their Second Amendment rights, because they're just at war with our Bill of Rights and civilization, with society. They're the left. They're not on our side. They're not the good guys. Not by a long shot.
No one has the law, including this illegitimate president. And so, I look forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day, suing him, defending your rights, and then going home.
Yeah, defending your rights, suing him. That's Letitia James, the Democrat Attorney General, the chief law enforcement officer in the state of New York. She's a radical. She's an extremist. She's an abuser of power. She wages political warfare against the NRA and Donald Trump because the Democrat Party wants her to do it. And she's not on the side of civilization, the Democrat Party. Man, oh man. Yeah, so Justice Department subpoenas the office of Letitia James and that gang that she runs with. They're not the good guys. Boy, are they not the good guys. Yes, sir. Also, this is an absolutely crazy one that I'm sure this is going to get a lot of attention in Latin America and probably worldwide, but certainly in Latin America, because President Trump's Department of Justice, Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, announcing a $50 million reward. Where's Dog the Bounty Hunter? We need Dog the Bounty Hunter. For information leading to the arrest of the now former president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro. Oh, this is a fascinating story because Nicolas, speaking of socialists, is, he followed on the heels of Hugo Chavez, communist, called himself a socialist. Maduro calls himself a socialist. AOC calls herself socialist. Bernie Sanders calls himself socialist. Mamdan calls himself a socialist. And these are not the good guys. These are the bad guys. But it turns out that, and look, everybody knew it all along. It was not a well-kept secret or anything like that. But the reward of up to $50 million information leading to the arrest and or conviction of Nicolas Maduro, former Venezuelan president, because he has, and here's what the
that were dirtweed, it wouldn't do that.
Put out a release on this. For over a decade, Nicolas Maduro has been a leader of the Cartel de las Soles, which is responsible for trafficking drugs into the United States. On July 25th of 2025, the U.S. Department of Treasury designated Cartel de las Soles as a specially designated global terrorist group. Since 2020, Nicolas Maduro has strangled democracy and grasped at power in Venezuela. Maduro claimed to have won Venezuela's 2024 presidential election, but failed to present any evidence that he had prevailed. Yeah, but he was in charge. He had the army, the one with the guns rules, right? The United States has refused to recognize Nicolas Maduro as the winner of the 2024 election, does not recognize him as the president of Venezuela. Isn't that great? And now a $50 million reward if you can provide information. If you're a bounty hunter, this could be a pretty good one. But never mind that. The Department of State, Department of Justice announcing a reward offer up to $15 million under the Narcotics Rewards Program, which they call the NRP. You got to abbreviate everything, put it in parentheses. Information leading to the arrest and or conviction of Nicolas Maduro for violating U.S. narcotics laws. He's the Tony Montana of Venezuela. And that's what socialists are. Killer, greedy criminals. Who was it? The richest person in Venezuela was, I believe, Hugo Chavez's daughter. Isn't that right? It was worth billions of dollars, Hugo Chavez's daughter. It's good to be the king. You know that the all-new third-generation Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier is available to all of us. And the third generation builds on the incredible success of the first two generations, and they earn thousands of five-star reviews on Al Gore's amazing internet. Peace be upon him. This new Eden Pure Thunderstorm uses two technologies. Studies have shown these technologies help to kill up to 99.9% of bacteria and viruses floating in the air of your home. They also remove dust and pet dander and smoke and a whole lot more. Stinky stuff. Help to get rid of any odor. And you don't have to buy filters over and over again and replace them either. You can hold one in your hand, a Thunderstorm. The Thunderstorm will help get rid of any stinky smell. Think about trash cans, cigarette smoke, liberal protesters, musty basements. Nothing can stop the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. And right now, because we hang out together, you can save $200 on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for whole home protection. The entire home. Put one in your basement, your teenager's room. Give one as a gift. It'll be a hint. Go Go to EdenPureDeals.com and use the discount code Chris3 to save that $200. EdenPureDeals.com, the discount code is CHRIS and the number 3. Yes, sir. Hey, burning down a house. This could be a Democrat theme song, too, couldn't it? Especially if you're a certain Jewish governor in Pennsylvania. All right, big stuff going on in the world. Big stuff indeed. The Democrats want to make sure President Trump doesn't fight crime in Washington, D.C.
Liberals amuse me. I am a socialist. I live to the extreme left. Right? The extreme left of you mere liberals, okay?
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
My name is George Santis. I'm the co-founder of Nutrafol. My hair started thinning in my early 20s. I tried everything and nothing was really working. So we created Nutrafol. Our hair growth supplements undergo clinical trials and have helped millions of men and women get visibly thicker and stronger hair in just 3 to 6 months.
Start your hair growth journey at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com.
If you didn't think skipping breakfast was a big deal, you'd be right. Before. But now, Wendy's has Buck Biscuits. We're talking sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or even the Honey Buddy chicken biscuit. For just
Kings and queens and guillotines. Do, 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 do. I'll be leaving soon. Unless, of course, anybody wants to come up. Last call.
I have a lot of baby birds out there right now. All right, everybody, I'm leaving. I'll be back later. Fuck you, Charlie. You punk motherfucker, Charlie. You're fucking doing it again. It's the same one from before, kissing fucking Mikey Mick's ass and shit. Fuck you, Charlie. You lying son of a bitch. You're there fucking talking. You won't even come here. Why are you bringing my name up? You better stop putting my name with Wiggins' name. I see you do it again. In fact, fuck it. I'm going to do it anyways. You're getting cloned.